I know Jesus personally, and I have a conversation with him regularly every day.
Oh, really? What does he say to you, sir? Does he speak English? Hello?
Wait, what? God is imaginary? Fuck you mean by that?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, can you defend your belief in your magic god?
Yeah, I can.
Great, what's your evidence for this god?
You really think that everything that we live in, like everything that is built right now, just happened to be there? Just you think that we
Well,
what
yeah,
fuck you mean by
it could
that?
be
Fuck
necessary
you.
existence, right? You think God just happened to be there?
Yes, obviously.
Okay, great. If you can imagine God just happening to be there, why can't you imagine the universe happening to be here?
Because it doesn't make sense.
Why does it make sense? Why does it make sense that God just randomly exists, but not the universe?
Listen, I'm Muslim, right? In the Quran, there are specifically a few surahs that how do you say that in English? That like
They fail miserably?
No. He knew what was coming. So like
great. So
give the
what did they predict in the Quran
there
that's
are
coming?
some things in the Quran. There's some things in the Quran that he already predicted happening.
Great, like what?
Like the war of Palestine and Israel.
Okay, great. So what verse in the Quran mentions Israel and Palestine are going to fight in 2023?
I can look it up for you.
What verse mentions
It's okay.
What verse
It's
mentions
okay.
that Palestine and Israel are going to fight in
It's
this
okay.
year?
I can look it up for you.
Don't give me some general verse about a war, because wars happen all the time, especially in the Middle East. It's no shit that some guy in the ancient desert is going to say that there's a war. They happen all the time.
Sorry, what did you say?
And by the way, your Quran has a lot of falsehoods in it, like the splitting of the moon, talking ants, talking snakes, Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark. None of these things happened.
And how do you know that? How do you know that?
They're impossible. Adam and Eve is impossible.
How do you know that? And also, like, but how do you know that?
Because we actually understand science. Maybe you don't.
Yeah, no, I'm a science girl. I believe in science, obviously, but there are some things that are non-explainable.
That doesn't mean you can explain it away with God. It doesn't mean God did it.
Well, it doesn't mean that it just happened to be there.
Why not?
Why? You really
Why does God get special pleading? Why do you get to say that God can just magically happen for no reason, but the universe can't?
I'm not saying that.
Great. So why can't you conceive of a universe that always was?
Look, what I'm saying is that God created the universe. God created
Show me. How do you know that? Demonstrate that. Give me evidence.
Well, how do you know that it just appeared to be there?
I didn't say it appeared to be there. That's what you said. You said one day God got bored and went poof, and magically everything happened to exist.
No. Wait, because you say God is imaginary. So how are these things created in your belief?
They're not created.
So we're nothing.
No, we are something, man, but we're natural.
Exactly, we're something. We're made of clay.
Hold on. Relax. Take a deep breath. Relax. When I say, hold on, relax. When I say the universe was always there, I mean there is nobody behind it. It's just a universe of matter and energy in space and time. And I know it seems as if there has to be somebody putting it here, because that's how we perceive things in our world. But unfortunately, physically speaking, scientifically speaking, there doesn't have to be a somebody making it. There doesn't need to be a wizard. There doesn't have to be those things. We could live in a universe that's natural. No God required. It just is.
Okay, I understand.
So your job is to either give me evidence that your magic God did it, or show me why it's impossible for the universe to be natural.
If you tell me how we just exist, how can we? You really think that we just? No, I see you're frustrated, but like
Because you didn't
You
listen
really
to me.
think
You
that
didn't listen to anything I just said.
No.
I
I
just
listened. I
explained this
swear
to
to God,
you.
I listened. But what I mean
But then you wouldn't answer.
is
You didn't want to ask that
no.
question.
What I mean is, I think you believe that we are created from apes, right?
We are apes. You and me are. We are apes.
Okay. So
We are Homo
how are
sapiens. Those are great apes.
Okay, so how are apes made then?
We evolved.
We evolved from what? From what did you evolve?
We didn't evolve from something. This isn't Power Rangers. This isn't morphing time, right?
Exactly.
No, listen. See, this is why you're a Muslim. You don't listen to the science.
I'm sorry.
The science is.
I'm sorry. This is
why
I'm
you
Muslim?
believe in magic wizards, because you don't listen to the science.
Please,
listen, ma'am.
No, treat me with respect.
Listen.
Please.
Listen.
Treat me with respect.
Shh, listen. Relax. Evolution is the genetic change over time. You are made of organic compounds that have changed over time. That's it. There's nothing magical about us. And yes, we are apes.
So
you don't need God for us to be here.
So we're just a clump of cells that connected and magically created everything.
Chemically. There's something called chemistry that makes this happen.
Did you took biology, obviously, right? You know that there's literally a function for everything. You really think that our body
there's chemical there's a cascade of ma'am, hold on.
Okay.
There's a cascade of chemical sequences that we think are functions, but the problem is that there's nothing in the laws of physics that says that there has to be a human, or there has to be. We just happen to be this way, perhaps for some deterministic reason. That doesn't mean that there's a God. We can conceive of a universe where we happen to emerge naturally, and that's amazing. I agree with you. It's amazing to fathom, but it's possible. There doesn't have to be a God making us. We could be the products of natural things.
But you say that really beautiful. You say there doesn't have to be a God, and we could be, but you don't know.
Right.
You say God is imaginary. Your point is God is imaginary. How the
Because there's no evidence of God, and every time you try to give evidence for it, you fail.
I'm not failing, because if I give you right now the surahs of the Quran that you know the sea that's split in two, right?
No sea split in two.
No, you know what I mean, like the I don't know how to say it in English, because
no, there's no barrier in the oceans. There's no barrier in the oceans. That's nonsense. The Quran gets so many things wrong. The Quran is a flat earth book, ma'am. The Quran is a flat earth book. The Quran thinks the sun moves around the earth. The Quran is ancient garbage. It's not.
Sorry, that's just no. That's just disrespectful, because people believe in the Quran.
What's disrespectful?
You cannot say that it's garbage.
Itself, that it says you can beat your wife.
Belief. It's a religion.
Your religion is not exempt from criticism. It's just a religion. It's just a belief system. It doesn't deserve some special treatment. It's a belief, and it's a bad one, and it's a harmful one.
No, but you need to treat people with respect.
I am treating with respect. I'm just simply saying that your Quran is dumb. Not you.
If I believe in something, I respect you and I respect your beliefs.
No,
and if you want to think what you think, it's okay.
I don't care if you respect me. I don't care if you respect me. I care if you're honest. Do you have evidence for the Quran being true? So far, you have failed. The seas never split. Donkeys, snakes can't talk. Adam and Eve never happened. Give evidence of God or go away. Right.
I'm just really, really interested into knowing like there was this earth, right? And there were some cute little cells, and they just went to each other and created.
So that's a miss. That's a wrong.
So
thing
you
to
don't
say,
know, right? You don't know what
works.
happened. How you don't know, right?
We do. It's called abiogenesis, and it demonstrates a chemical evolution that happened about 4 billion years ago in the Earth's oceans. And there's again, like I said, a cascade of chemical sequences that establish a living protocell, which then became something like a living cell that we know today. But it took very small incremental changes over long amounts of time. That's how we got here. And
Right.
there doesn't have to be a magic wizard who poofed it into existence.
Right. No, but like you're telling me to have proof, right? But do you know 100%? Are you 100% sure that this is what happened? Because I don't think you
Yes,
live
we have
that.
evidence.
No.
Yes,
I
we have
don't
so
think
much
you live.
evidence for abiogenesis. We have tons of research. We can
Right, and I have
polymerize
so
RNA
much
in labs.
evidence. I
We
have
can
so
produce
much
amino
evidence for it
acids.
as well.
We have found the building blocks of life on asteroids in space. They form naturally. They form in gas clouds. They form in the atmosphere of the Earth. Guys,
You know,
see, this is the reason why you're confused, because you don't actually learn the science. You don't
no, I
learn.
learned science, and you know,
Well, learn
in the
more. There's a
Netherlands.
lot to learn out there, my friend. There's so much more to learn.
Listen, I'm so interested in the science. I love science. Like when I was little, I wanted to be a researcher because I was also confused. I wanted to know where things came from. How did we exist? What
Good.
happened?
Good.
I wanted to know. I was really interested. I love science. But
Great.
it doesn't take away from the fact that some things are not explainable.
But that doesn't mean you get to explain it away with God. God
Right.
did it is not a good way to explain the unexplainable. What the best way to explain the unknown is to go into it and to test it, to poke it, to see what it's all about. That's how we test the unknown. That's how we figure out facts. We don't just say God did it and run away. We go out there and we learn. We actually use science, a methodology that enables us to verify what we believe to be true. We don't just say God did it and cross our fingers.
Right. You know what? It's okay. I'm not gonna discuss with you right now because I'll have to look up surahs, and I don't have the time.
You can look up all the surahs you need to. The problem is that we can already debunk the Quranic claims. We know that ants don't talk. It got embryology all wrong. It talks about the sun orbiting the earth. It's nonsense. I'm sorry, ma'am. I know it's hard, but your Quran is nonsense. It's not about you. It's about your belief. Your belief is wrong.
Right. And that's kind of also disrespectful. Bardo, like I told you,
how is it disrespectful?
It's kind of disrespectful to tell me that it's nonsense and just to like.
Why is that disrespectful to you?
Because I'm Muslim.
But you're not a belief. You're a person, right? I'm disrespecting the belief.
I'm a person.
Not you.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
But you're not the belief. You are a person. And not about you, it's about your belief.
Yeah, right. And I believe in something and it makes me be that person.
Yeah.
Right?
But
so
you're emotionally attached. Hold on. It's not my fault that you have emotionally attached yourself to your belief. It's personal to you. I understand it's very personal to you. But the problem is that if you care about truth, if you're honest, you're going to ask these hard questions. You're not going to become comfortable in your belief. I'm never comfortable. I'm always looking for answers and new information, and I'm willing to have my beliefs criticized. I put my beliefs on the cutting board every day to be chopped up, to be destroyed, right? I don't care if my beliefs are disrespected because I don't care about being wrong. It seems to me that you care so much about being right that you're willing to not understand the science. You're willing to just shut your mind and close your ears and close your eyes and say, no, God, God, God. Just listen to the facts around you. They disagree.
Wait. You're just trying to gaslight me right now.
Give me evidence of God.
Okay, I'm gonna give you evidence. Give me 10 minutes and I'm gonna look it up for you.
Okay, well, come back and you read your Bible, your Quran, whatever book you believe. Come back, okay? Give us the verse that demonstrates your.
You know that
Keep tapping, guys. Please subscribe to the YouTube. Link in bio. I have all my debates there if you guys like this.
Hi, Mike.
What do you got?
Well, it's either would you like to go over God is imaginary or
whatever you want, whatever you like.
I'm actually against both, but I'm gonna give you full respect. You deserve respect, of course, absolutely. I think my biggest point about God is that the order and design of the universe. By the way, I love science, just like the previous person. I love science, but order and design of the universe shows a lot on why God can be real. He's known as a uncaused cause, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you're saying that order, you're looking around the universe and you're saying, wow, there's so much order, right? So you're saying that order requires some intelligent designer, right?
Not necessarily, but I'm saying in that case, yes.
In what case? In what cases are there no design behind order?
You're right about that. Sorry, I confused myself right there. But my point is that for there to be something created, there has to be a creator. That's what I'm going at.
And how do you know something's created? By its order?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that whatever's orderly has to be created, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when it comes to God, is God orderly?
He would be, yes.
So by your logic, God was created.
No, he's an uncaused cause.
Okay, great. So now you're saying that God does not need to be designed, even though God is perfectly orderly. Okay. So if you're going to make a special pleading case for God, why can't we special plead for the universe and say the universe doesn't need design, even though it's orderly?
Well, the universe is the cause, and the uncaused cause is God. That's
but why can't we just say the universe is eternal?
Well, technically, by science terms, yes, it would be eternal because there was a Big Bang, right?
Well, the Big Bang is not the beginning, and the Big Bang is just the expansion at a certain point in time. It's not the beginning necessarily.
Yes, but there was a beginning to that, right?
No, there doesn't have to be a beginning. In fact, time is relative. There's no sense of some beginning in the universe. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I hear you on that. Absolutely. But for there to be a Big Bang, there was a starting point, right? There was no starting point.
No, I don't know where a starting point would be, but if there was a starting point, it doesn't mean that there's something before that is something natural, right? Like a quantum field.
Okay, can you further explain, like, the start, like right before the Big Bang, what was there?
We don't know.
So if we don't know, how can we not just label that as that could be God?
Because God is ill-defined. So that's like saying, well, it could be snuffleupagus. It's just a word, right? God is just a word. It's a filler. It doesn't do anything for you to say, well, it could be God. Well, it could be snuffleupagus. It could be Jack and the Beanstalk, right?
I hear you on that.
I'm saying we have no evidence that there's a God. And all the evidence points to something natural, like a quantum field, which is by far the most likely scenario, a quantum fluctuation.
Yep. There's also evidence that there is a molecule inside of every single living being, and it's labeled as YHWH/YHVH. And as we see in the Bible, that is actually God's name. It's Yahweh.
Yeah.
And
so this is debunked. So you're talking about the nucleotides, the nucleobases that we prescribe letters to from our DNA. There are no letters in our DNA. There are no letters. When we go look at DNA molecules, there's no letter there, right? There's no letter inscribed in our molecules. No, that's nonsense. When we prescribe letters to our nucleotides in our DNA, that's just something we do. We put those words there to make it symbolized for our, understanding. But we can better understand it when we put symbols on these things. But the point is that you can turn those YWV letters to anything you want to. I can make it spell Satan. I can make it spell poop. I can make it spell anything I want to, because the letters you give it are just subjective. They're random, whatever you want to. Right? There is no. You cannot possibly say that that this is God or Jesus. There's no way.
Okay, going back to my previous argument, if we have no idea what started the Big Bang, like the expansion of everything, we have no idea what that point is, would that be considered an uncaused cause?
Yeah, so an uncaused cause doesn't make sense in physics, because in physics, causality is not a fundamental feature to physics. Causality is emergent, and relativity gives us more insight on this, because relativity says that time as we perceive it is not something fundamental. It's something that emerges from our brains. Time is a dimension, and it could be static. So causation could be seen in a different way from the typical Aristotelian view, which is that there's like a domino effect of things that happen. That doesn't make sense anymore in today's science, today's modern physics. That idea has been debunked. We know now today that time is a relative thing, that everybody's time is different. So there can't be a first cause because there was no one time that the universe agrees with. Time is relative to everybody. Everybody has different times.
Okay. As we understand that there was a huge expansion, what I'm really struggling with is what that starting point was. I feel like every time I research it, I cannot find what that starting point was.
Because it doesn't exist. There was no starting point.
Okay. All right. So the furthest we know would be the Big Bang, correct? Like the expansion.
The Big Bang is the end of our understanding of the universe. It's not the beginning.
What's the beginning? I'm sorry, I'm going blank.
See, human minds want to think that there is a beginning to things. That's a common thing for our minds to do. We gotta think, where does it start? The problem is that notion doesn't make sense anymore. That was an old idea that there has to be a start. There does not need to have to be a start to anything. And by the way, you already believe this because God is eternal to you. So why can't the universe be eternal in some way? There doesn't have to be a starting point to the universe.
Okay, I'm not saying that the universe isn't eternal. Well,
great. So what is your argument that points us to God?
The uncaused cause. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's say hypothetically that I have, I don't know, an onion and then I smash it. If I smash that onion, couldn't I be the cause to that onion being smashed? I mean, it was eternal. If there's no starting point to me in that onion, it would have been eternal, right?
Okay.
If it becomes smashed, I created that. And if we slow it all the way down, like technically, if we
we can put this back on God, right? Who pushed God to make God? Who pushed God so that God made the universe, right? It's the same thing applies to God. Who started God?
He wasn't started. He's the uncaused cause.
Great. So then why can't we say the universe wasn't started? And it's the same thing.
It might have not been started. It might have been a piece of him. I'm not.
Great. So then you have no evidence of God because we both have competing hypotheses that have your side has zero evidence and my side is also an assumption. So we're at the same level now. You have no evidence that tips yours in favor.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with that. I can understand where you're going with that, is what I'm saying. If you want to move on to like the vegan part, that's fine with mine, or fine with me.
Okay.
What's your reasoning for going vegan? Like, help me understand where you're coming from with that.
I don't want to harm animals. I don't want to harm cows or pigs. I don't want to harm them. So I don't do it.
Okay, but harming those animals to get their nutrients is necessary. And I know the biggest argument would be that plants give you the same nutrients, but it's not the same nutrients.
What are the differences?
There's a certain chemical, I can't think of it right now, but there's a certain chemical that helps with electrons in the electron buffer flow that is in mitochondria, that is in the prefrontal cortex. You need that specifically. It comes from fatty acids that are inside animals. You need that.
Fatty acids are found in plants. All the omega 6s and 3s are found in plants.
Okay, yes, but the main difference is that those fatty acids are different. I can't think of the molecule right off of my head, but it can only come from animals, and plants do not need it because they do not consume. They're not consumers.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. You'd have to give me actual research because I have no idea what we're talking about. As far as I can see, the position of the dietetics and nutrition is that vegan diets that are well planned are suitable for all stages of life. Maybe you're talking about DHA?
Yes, that's what it is. Yes.
Oh, yeah. DHA is found in vegan foods, and your body can produce it on its own. Your body converts ALA to DHA.
Yep. That's it. You can produce it on your own because we have meat. I agree with you
No,
100%.
we don't have to eat meat to get it. The point is, first of all, DHA is found in algae and things like that in sufficient quantities, but your body can convert omega-6s to omega-3s.
All right. I think I think you're just more educated than me on majority of this stuff. So I'm just gonna give you the respect of, you know, you're more educated than I am when it comes to these things. And you know,
Okay, great.
I think I'm just gonna end it off there.
All right, thanks for being honest. I appreciate honesty. I really do. Keep tapping, guys. Please subscribe to the YouTube. If you guys like this debate, if you like these debates, I have all of them on my YouTube. Literally, every one of my debates. I post all the comments on there. I have great science videos. It's definitely worth your time. You will not be disappointed. Link in bio.
I guess my question would be, so with the expansion of agriculture and human population that comes with veganism, would that not create a lack of biodiversity for animals to live, which would in turn harm the animals?
Yeah, it's actually funny you mentioned that, because actually there's studies and research on this that shows the opposite, that if everybody went vegan, we'd actually have more biodiversity. And the study's called Vegans, Vegetarians in the UK Show Discrepant Environmental Impacts, and it demonstrates that if everybody were to go vegan, there would actually be a 54% increase in biodiversity, because guess what? Vegans kill less land. We destroy less crops. We destroy less trees, because animal agriculture is very crop intensive. We have to grow all these crops just to feed the animals that you guys abuse. So we're doing way better for the environment as vegans. Vegans have a 75% lower carbon footprint than their counterpart meat eaters. It's way better to go vegan for everything.
So I respect the vegan standpoint. I personally am not a vegan and would never consider it. But when you're, I guess let me think on this here for a second. So when you're saying that it requires less land because you're basically, it's what, 70% of corn goes towards feeding agriculture.
Most of it, most corn does.
And most corn does, which I know that.
Most soy, 90% of soy goes not to humans, but to other things.
And I understand that argument. However, I just think it's like, I don't know. I mean, obviously some animals benefit from agriculture, some don't.
Okay. Do you have an argument? Are you okay?
I don't really have an argument anymore.
All right. Have a good Poor kid. Okay. Keep tapping, guys. Just keep tapping. He didn't know what to say because he didn't know that. See, that's why research is important, right? You got to be, that gives you confidence. Knowledge gives you confidence. That's why I'm confident.
Hello?
What do you got?
I just was wondering about a couple of things, but one, how are you consistently on live every night, but nobody shut you down yet?
Because I do my research.
I think you're contradicting.
I think you're 12. Next.
Yo, what's up, man?
How old are you?
I have a question. Why do you think God is imaginary?
How old are you?
14.
Have a good day.
Hello.
I hope that wasn't what I think it is. I hope that was not what I think it is. Oh my gosh.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2000.
Wow, that was so hilarious.
Yo.
Hey, what do you got?
How's it going?
Great. What do you got?
Yeah, the whole vegan thing, like, it doesn't make much sense because you guys, like, you kill a bunch of animals to grow your soy and you spray pesticides all over everything that, like, makes people infertile and kills all the bees.
The funny thing you said is that soy, right? And guess what? Did you know that 90% of soy is grown for animals and fuel, not for humans?
Yeah, because they feed the cows soy. Like
Right.
corn
So
soy mix.
you're causing way more pesticides, you're causing way more crop deaths, you're causing way more animals to die than any vegan.
Not me.
If
I
you
buy
buy
it from the
animal
Amish
products,
dude.
yes. If you eat
No, I
meat,
buy
you're
it from the
causing more
Amish dude.
deaths.
Wait, so when I buy it from the Amish dude, whereas cows only eat grass, what's the
Well,
problem with
yeah,
that?
well, that land had to be grazed, right? That land had to be cut down to make way for those cows too. So you're still killing animals that way.
Yeah, but I also kill the animal when I eat the cow. I'm not the one that has a problem with it. Like,
Well, yeah,
do you think
that's
there's
not
a
my
difference
problem,
between
right?
killing?
You have not presented reasons or justification for killing these animals when you don't have to.
Yeah, there's a difference between a human and an animal.
Yeah, what's the morally relevant difference though that justifies killing the animal but not the person?
Yeah, they're not like us. Like I have preference to my own species. Like just like have people have preference to their own race. Like I have preference to my own species.
Right. So the only reason why you don't, so how about a dog? Do you think it's okay to kill a dog?
No, I'm not Chinese.
Oh, but that's a different species, right? So now you're making a special pleading case for the dog. Why do you think
No,
it's
it's not
wrong to
special.
kill a dog, even though they're different species than you?
When you look at the dog, it's not made to like be eaten. Cows, they hold a lot more meat. Dogs are like.
So does your mom, but should we eat your mom too because she's fat?
What's that have? I mean, we don't eat humans, right? Because that would be insane.
Right. So why ought we kill somebody because they have lots of meat on their bodies? Why does that give you reason to kill that?
Why does it give you reason? People have been doing that forever.
We also had slaves forever. Should we continue to having slaves because we did it in the past forever?
There's slaves today. Yeah, I mean, I'm not into slaves based on.
But you think slavery is wrong, right?
If it's on racial bias, probably. But
wow. Okay. Have a good day. I can't debate somebody who thinks slavery is okay.
You're a fake vegan.
What?
You're a fake vegan.
Yeah. Do you have an argument for us today?
You're a fake vegan. That's my argument.
You're a fake vegan. Go watch Barney, kiddo. Keep tapping, guys. Keep tapping. Please subscribe to the YouTube.
Hello.
Hey, what do you got?
Vegan, but I'm starting to think that having a chicken in my backyard and eating their eggs is like okay. Would that not be okay in your justification?
Well, yeah, this is a gray area, but to me, it's wrong. I wouldn't want to be that chicken. I don't want my body parts stolen from me, or I wouldn't want that to happen to me, so I don't do it to the animals. But is this your only argument?
No, that was it basically. I'm just vegan.
All right, good. Wow, all trolls up here. Literally all trolls. What do you
Hi,
got?
I want to talk to you about God is imaginary in your thought.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, what's your argument?
About you saying God is imaginary.
Yeah, what's your evidence to God?
Yeah, and why do you think that? Because the first single cell, what do you think it was made out of?
Organic compounds like lipids, phosphates, amino acids.
But that doesn't make sense, does it?
Why not?
Because how would it evolve?
It's when these amino acids change, right? Evolution is mutations, right? When amino acids come together, they can form nucleotides, and these nucleotides can change. They can mutate as your DNA replicates. There's errors that occur. Genes get misplaced, proteins get misplaced, and that's called evolution. Evolution is a chemical process.
Yes, but why do you think that? Because you say God is imaginary, right? And how do you know that we aren't made out of God? God didn't make us. Because let's just say I have a phone, right? You know someone else made that phone. How you don't have any evidence who made it?
Yeah, when I look at the rain coming down from the sky, do I think there's a guy in the clouds with a rain hose spraying down the water?
Yeah, that doesn't
No,
make sense.
right? No,
That's not God.
it doesn't. There's nobody behind the rain, just like there's nobody behind the universe or life.
Yes, but that doesn't make sense, does it?
Why not? Why doesn't it make sense that things happen naturally?
Because if you say God is imaginary, right? Then who do you think is controlling us?
Nobody's controlling us. This isn't like a Truman Show. There's nobody controlling us. Like this isn't like a TV show, right? This we're not puppets. Why do you think we have to have somebody controlling us?
Yeah, but in the afterlife, what do you think will happen? Will happen in the afterlife? You just think we're gonna get?
You rot. You go. You die forever. You don't come back.
You really think so? Nah, man,
That's
you're
what
wrong.
it seems like. I never saw anybody come back to life after they died in a funeral. They don't.
Yeah, but
I never talked to somebody after they died in a casket.
There's heaven and there's hell.
Great. Where's the evidence for this shit?
There is no evidence. We don't have people dying and then coming back to life.
So then why do you believe this shit?
Because there's in the holy book.
What?
In the holy book of Quran.
Which comes from the words of Allah.
Your book is full of nonsense. Talking snakes, Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark.
Why do you think so? It's made out of Allah. It got brought down from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
That's your belief. That's not evidence, right? Anybody can believe that nonsense.
Yes, but we do have evidence in the book.
Where? What verse is evidence of the book being correct?
How am I supposed to memorize them?
Yeah, that's your problem, right? You can't defend your belief. You're just saying, oh, there's a book. Here's a book. How do you know the book is true? How do you know the book wasn't just a story?
Because it was brought down from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because there's the Kaaba. There's where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died.
Okay, who cares about some guy who died in a stone and a rock? Where's your evidence of a God?
Yeah, okay. I'm not even gonna compete with you, man. I'm not really in the mood.
Okay, have a good day.
Fuck you.
Hey, pal. How we doing?
Great. What do you got?
I agree with the vast majority of the things you say. That that to have some kind of outstanding. To be able to say something that is. Sorry, I am very drunk, obviously.
All right. Have a good day, sir. Go away.
Do you hear me?
How old are you?
I'm 18. No, 18. Okay, listen.
What year were you born?
2005.
All right. What?
Okay, so you don't believe in God, right?
No.
All right. Explain to me how the world was created. Explain to me in your image.
Who said it was created? It could have always existed in some way.
Everything has a creation. Everything has a creation. Everything has a start.
Okay, great. Where did God start?
In every holy book, it says that He's infinite. Do you believe in the Big Bang? Do you believe in the
so
Big Bang?
God doesn't have a start, but everything else does.
No, because He's infinite. He's infinite. But listen.
Great. So why can't the universe
do you believe in the Big Bang? Do you believe in the Big Bang?
The Big Bang happened. Yes, we have evidence for it.
Okay, but listen. We have some. Wait. Listen. It has to be created by someone.
Why?
Because everything has a start. And listen. God,
except for God,
listen,
right?
God, listen. God is infinite. We have an explanation.
Okay, great. So why can't the universe be infinite?
It is infinite. It's Big Bang.
So
is
then
still
it doesn't have a
expanding.
start. Then it doesn't have a start.
Big Bang still expanding.
Yeah, that doesn't mean there's a start.
Yeah, because if it's still expanding, that means it has a start. If it's still expanding.
No, see, the universe can expand and then contract again, and then keep doing that forever.
Yeah, when it extracts to the point, then it has starts.
No, that's just a arbitrary placeholder for a start. I mean, again, the universe can be in a causal loop where it's just going on forever. There does not need to be a start, an absolute start to anything.
Hey, والله كانت كلارا معناها قرب والله. Listen, I don't know if you're right in the head. I'm sorry, but.
Oh, so now you're gonna be rude?
Huh?
Okay.
Okay. Why do you think people? Okay. I'm gonna just change the subject. Why do you think people should go vegan? Why do you?
Because I don't want to harm animals. Why do you want to harm animals?
To eat food.
Yeah, but you don't have to eat them. You can eat something plant-based.
Okay, but lions can eat humans. It's the same thing. Sharks can eat humans. Why can't we eat them?
Because we're not in the wild.
It's nature.
We have stores.
It's nature.
Sharks also grape each other. Should we grape each other too?
Humanity already does that. People don't.
Right, because we don't get our morality from sharks. We get our morality from looking at the consequences to our actions and our choices. We have a choice. We can either kill animals or eat plants. Eating plants is obviously the less harmful thing. That's the point, right? Vegans want to minimize harm. You want to maximize it for some reason.
But it isn't really that bad to eat animals because they don't have a mind of their own. They're not as intelligent.
They do have minds of their own.
Not very necessary. They're not very necessary to the world.
Well, neither are you. Should we murder you?
No, because
So then why do you get to kill the animals when there's no reason?
Because we humans are evolution. We create further future.
So do animals. Animals have feelings. Animals have experience. Animals have consciousness. Animals love just like humans.
How do you know?
Because we can observe their behaviors. We can see them caring for others, especially other humans.
All animals, or are you talking about all animals?
Yes, cows, pig, the ones that you abuse, cows, pigs, chickens, all of them are compassionate. They love.
But I don't have a relation with the
compassion.
animals, so why should I care?
What?
I don't have a special relation with the animals.
I don't
So
have a
why should
relation. I
so
don't
why
have a
should I
relation
care,
with
like,
you. I don't have a relation with you. Does that give me the right to look?
humans have eaten animals for thousands of years. Why should we just go
We
vegan?
also
I don't
enslaved
know.
people for thousands of years. Does that make it okay to have slaves?
It is the same thing.
I know they're not the same thing, but the justification is the same, right? You're saying that because we did it for a long time, that means it's okay today. Does that the same
I don't
doesn't
know why
apply for
you're
slavery?
changing the subject. We're talking about animals and you're talking about slavery, bro.
Yeah, you're not tracking to the argument, right? I understand that slavery is different than animals, but what I'm saying is your justification is the same. You justified killing animals because we did it for a long time. Yet you think it's wrong to have slaves,
Okay, so
but we did it for a long time.
So do you think all animals should also be vegan?
No,
The
animals don't have options in the wild, but we do.
Why don't they have options? Why?
They don't have stores. Do you see lions in stores? Do lions go to Target?
But there are plants. Like they can eat plants. Like some animals do.
You think a lion's gonna eat grass?
They can survive with that. They can.
No,
of course
can't.
they can.
Lions cannot survive on grass. That's nonsense. But more importantly, animals in the wild cannot choose to eat something. They eat food based on what they can to survive. Right? There's a pressure there that we don't have on us. We don't have to fucking eat meat at all.
Why?
Because we can be perfectly healthy as vegans. We don't have to kill animals.
But it isn't really that bad because you can just breed them and just make new like cows, for example.
Yeah, we can breed people too and
Okay,
just
listen.
enslave them, right?
As I said, we have slaughtered animals for thousands of years, all right, and they still exist on today. So why is it a problem?
Because there's a victim involved that you are not recognizing. Animals being harmed and abused in factories.
They're not really that
see.
necessary. Listen, they're not really that necessary. They don't make a change to the world. They would die either way. So why not like eat them?
Okay, do babies?
Animals.
Okay,
sheep,
hold on,
and
sir.
cows, until a certain age,
Sir,
they're really useless. They cannot
listen.
produce anything anymore. So
okay, great. How about mentally handicapped people? They don't contribute anything to society. Does that justify killing those mentally challenged people?
What the fuck? Why are you changing the subject about mental?
It's not changing the subject, sir. You said that because animals don't contribute to society, therefore we get to kill them. How about babies? Do they contribute to society? Do they pay taxes? How about mentally handicapped people? Do they contribute to society? No. So what justifies not harming those people, but harming those animals?
Didn't I just tell you that we don't eat mentally ill animals?
Right.
Like, we can't eat that.
Exactly. And for the same reasons, I don't want to kill the animals. There's no difference there.
Are you gonna eat a sick animal or a healthy animal?
I want to eat no animals because none of them have to die.
But what would you rather eat?
Plants.
But you would rather eat a healthy animal, right? So why are you like?
You don't have to kill any. Sir, you're not listening.
An animal to a disabled person.
We don't have to kill any animals.
What? Okay, I have a question. What made you?
We're not doing this. This is ridiculous. Keep tapping, guys. Subscribe to the YouTube. All my debates there.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Unfortunately.
He said, unfortunately. All right, well, let's go over a couple of the things before we even get to the God thing. I want to just break down a couple of these things. Okay, so the only thing that I do absolutely agree with on the points over your head is humans did cause climate change. I'll agree with that fact. Now, the whole fact about evolution, that's not a fact. That wasn't even accepted as a fact until, I don't know, sometime, I wouldn't say recently, but more recent than not recent. Evolution was, you can't even, okay, what fact do you have about evolution? Let's start there.
Sure, I'll start with the fossil record. We can date fossils, we can observe their homologous structures changing in the geological strata, we can observe DNA sequencing and see chromosome 2, which is a fusion that occurred about 6 million years ago with our common ape ancestors. We can take a look at Richard Lenski's experiment in the 1990s, where he took a species of E. coli, split their populations, observed their speciation over 20 years. We have so much proof of evolution, it is insane.
So
Evolution is an undeniable fact of reality.
Okay, so number one, let's just start with certain. Let's break down what you just said. All right, so number one, with all of these facts that you just named off, where did you get those facts from?
Experimentation, paleontology, right? It's fields of science that go out there and actually experiment and test data.
Right, but where did you get the facts from? Like, did you do the experiment?
The scientific research that was peer reviewed.
Okay, so where is this scientific research located at?
It's located online. Anybody can look it up and see the actual methodology and see the experiments. And by the way, I have been in a science lab where I have actually done experiments and have actually seen fossils and handled fossils. So anybody can do it, sir. It just takes courage and a brain.
Okay, so let's touch on the vegan point. I'm gonna get back to the evolution point. Let's touch on the vegan point. So as far as the vegans, explain to me how I'm wrong for killing an animal, but the animals and the insects. So is the insect's life more? Is the insect's not life worth less than the animal's life?
Insects are animals, sir. But what I would say is, that sure, there are degrees of value we place onto animals, of course. But the problem is that as a vegan, I intend to kill zero animals. I kill zero animals intentionally.
So your intention doesn't necessarily, just because you don't intend to kill something in order for you to eat what you want to eat, doesn't necessarily mean that the action isn't taking place. You get what I'm saying?
But the problem is that I can't control what happens in crop fields, right? I can't stop any death or all death from happening. I'm not perfect.
No, I'm not saying that you have to be.
Great. So then do you recognize that veganism is not about being perfect? It's about minimizing harm?
So let me ask you something. So
no. Yes or no? Do you agree that veganism is about minimizing harm?
Yes, I would agree.
Great. And do you agree that eating meat maximizes harm?
No, because now let me explain my point to that. The reason why I say no is because just the same way you're not liable for an insect or smaller animals to be killed with the pesticides that's used to grow your food is the same way how I myself didn't kill the cow. Now
you intended
produce. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't.
You intended to kill that cow, right? You are. Hold on. Listen.
Okay, I'm listening.
You are intending to go to the store and buy that cow's body part.
Right.
I'm not. Vegans don't intend to kill any animals at all. In fact, plant-based agriculture kills very few animals, if anything. The problem is that you are killing intentionally these poor cows and chickens in factories. You're causing them to be abused in these factories. I'm not.
So
that's the difference here.
So let me just. So, but the intention is the same, is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
No, it's not. I do not intend to harm any animals.
You know for a fact that something that had life died in order for you to eat the vegetables that you're buying.
Yeah, but guess what? That does not mean I intended for them to die. It's just a natural byproduct of being alive. I can't stop. Hold on, sir, please listen.
I am.
I can't stop all animals from dying, right? Just me existing is going to cause something to die. I understand that. But that doesn't mean I intended to kill animals. It means I'm just here, but I can use my choices to choose the correct option I have in front of me. And the options we have are either killing cows and pigs or eating a plant. Eating plants don't cause harm and suffering. What you're doing is causing harm and suffering to the animals.
The reason why I can't necessarily believe that is because the standstill that we're at is still the same. We're
No,
both
it is
going to the
not.
super.
No, it is
And then
not.
on top of that, would
Sir,
you consider that
stop.
plants are alive?
They're not
Would you
sentient,
consider
though.
that? What do you consider alive?
A living being, right? But plants are not sentient. Plants
Like,
don't
so
feel
they're
pain.
not conscious, is
Right.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't believe that a flower knows to grow towards the sun is because that's where it gets its nutrients from. You don't consider that consciousness.
No, that's not consciousness. They don't have brains.
I mean, okay. I still necessarily think that it's the exact same thing. Like, it's because
No, it is
I'm
not.
buying,
How can you
because I
possibly
didn't intend
compare
for the cow
somebody
to
like
die.
me? Stop. This is a garbage take, because you are intentionally putting animals in gas chambers, stuffing
No, I'm
pigs
not.
in gas chambers. Yes, you are.
I've never gas chambered an animal in my life.
Do you buy bacon?
No, I don't eat pork.
Okay, great. Do you eat cows?
I do eat cow.
Great. Well, guess what? You paid for that, right? In the store, you
Correct.
caused those cows to be killed.
Do you eat potatoes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you bought that knowing that the pesticides used in order to grow potatoes killed a lot of
No,
insects.
potatoes don't kill million. They don't kill any bugs. That's nonsense.
That's definitely not nonsense, but I don't want you to shoot me off before we get to the main point that I wanted to come up here, whereas the whole take about God being imaginary. What gives you that stance?
No. We're not going to pivot, right? You said something dumb, right? You
No,
said,
I
"Oh,
didn't
look,
say
you're
anything
killing
dumb.
insects in the crop fields." You're not. You are missing the elephant in the room. The difference
not.
between me and you is that you are intending to kill and torture animals in factories. I am not. There's a
How if I have
mentality.
no
Hold
control?
on. There's a mentality aspect to this. You think it's okay to slaughter and kill and torture a pig or a cow or a chicken. I don't. See, you have no justification for eating animals. You don't have a justification. Whereas as a vegan, I understand that some insects will die, of course. But that's not the same as you intending to kill.
It's not just insects, bro. Like, what are you
There's
talking
a
about? There
vast
are
difference
smaller
there, sir.
animals.
And by the way, way more insects die for meat eaters than any vegan. You're killing way more crops. You're killing way more insects and animals by far.
I like the source. I like the source of this fact is because
Sure,
if we don't have,
sure. There's two sources. Vegans, vegetarians in the UK show discrepant environmental impacts, demonstrates that vegans cause 75% less deforestation. Another one is reducing producers and consumers, reducing foods environmental impact with producers and consumers. It demonstrates that if everybody went vegan, we'd actually save about 70% of land, and we'd actually produce more biodiversity.
so let's stick on the vegan topic. So you wholeheartedly understand that insects die for you to eat your produce.
Yeah, sir, I can't stop that from happening, can I?
Okay, you wholeheartedly
No,
know
no.
that
Answer the question.
other
Can I
things
stop that
that
from
insects
Sir,
die in
stop.
order for you to get your
Sir,
produce, correct?
Stop.
Every time you cut me off,
No,
I'll let you
listen,
go, bro. What are you
listen,
talking about?
listen. Can I stop all animals from dying?
No.
Exactly. I can't be perfect. I understand that. That's not what veganism means. It means I want to minimize the harm I cause. Period. You are maximizing harm. I'm minimizing harm. That's the difference.
I don't see the difference, bro. I really don't. I mean, even
Okay.
with
The
your
difference.
explanation,
I just explained this to you 1,000 times. That meat eaters are killing
hardly
more
even
crops,
1,000 times. Like
killing
you,
more trees, killing more biodiversity, killing more animals in factories. You're killing way more.
all right. Let's move on to the God subject. So, what gives you your stance about God being imaginary?
There's no evidence for it.
I think that there's a lot of evidence for God. I mean, I think that the Bible points out a lot of good things, a lot of hardcore evidence. Okay, so number one, how do we, and I have this argument with my brother all of the time, how do we, and on a historical account, how do we say that somebody historically existed? What's our greatest source of that? What's our greatest source of saying somebody existed?
Archaeological evidence, but I don't care about some guy who died on a stick. I care about a God, right? I don't care about Jesus. Who cares if he existed or not? That doesn't mean he's a God.
Okay, but
How do you know
it's
there's a
worth
God? How do
considering.
you know there's a God?
So if a book was written about somebody getting ready to come thousands of years before that person comes and does everything that the book before he was
Yeah,
ever
that's a false
born.
premise. That didn't
How is that
happen.
a false premise?
Because nowhere in the Old Testament does anybody predict Jesus.
They predict all of the characteristics of Jesus. And I believe Isaiah.
Yeah, exactly. Not Jesus, though. Many people have characteristics of Jesus.
Okay, so if I said that somebody, I don't know his name, but somebody is going to come at a certain time or around a certain time. And that
Where in the
person
Bible
went
does it
through
say that? Where in the
ATSC.
Bible does it say Jesus will come?
It definitely does.
Where? What verse?
That's the
What verse?
whole.
What verse?
That's the whole problem. I mean,
What
would you give me
verse?
time? Would you give me time to get my source? Because I got my computer up and running. I can bring
Great.
sources
Give us the source in the Old Testament.
about the prediction of Jesus Christ coming.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, cool. Give me a second. Let me fire this up real fast. It's just like on top of that, when the Bible says that.
No, don't say on top of that.
No,
you
we're
don't
gonna
have anything yet. You got zero. You got jack shit. And I know you're going to pull up Isaiah, which is not talking about Jesus. Nowhere in that verse does it mention Jesus, nor does it mention anything even remotely close to crucifixion.
Okay.
And by the way, the book you're mentioning talks about a flat earth. It talks about talking donkeys, talking snakes, Adam and Eve. You're going to reject all that nonsense and think it's perfectly fine, but just say, oh, look, this verse mentions one guy. That's ridiculous.
Is it though?
Yeah, Christianity is ridiculous. Get over it.
I suppose I don't want to get off topic with you. Like I said, I don't want to get banned. I'm going to just bring up the sources. That's where we could start.
How long is this going to take, sir? Maybe you can come back when you're ready.
Oh, yeah, you can go to somebody else if you want to come back to me.
Thank you.
I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Bring the verse, and when you get it, let us know. There is no verse. He'll be gone forever. Hey, what do you got?
So let's say you were like put into a position like in the forest and you don't have anything to eat except meat. What would you do? Like,
Yeah, I'm not going to die, sir. I'm going to eat the meat. But we're not in that situation now, are
okay,
we?
well that then like that breaks your like all your arguments. Like you can that like
No, that's
if
not
you're
my
going
argument.
to eat meat in that situation, like
That's not my argument, though. I'm not saying that we can never have to eat meat. I'm saying that with the situation we're in now, where we have stores, we don't have to eat meat at all.
but like meat provides like a lot of nutrition and it's good for us. Like it's not just about like the animals.
We can get plenty of nutrients from plant-based foods.
But just because like we would eat something in the wild, why wouldn't we eat it when we like have stores? Like that just doesn't make sense.
Because the animals that you abuse are being harmed and tortured, right?
No, they
So,
don't have to be harmed. They don't have to be tortured.
well, how do you kill them?
I mean, like there's certain ways. Like you just kill them straight away without no torture. Like you don't have to torture.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
By I don't know. You can like put them to sleep and then kill them in their sleep so they don't like.
And that's
Yeah.
good, and that's okay to you? That's humane?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's very humane.
Okay, what if I put you to sleep and then killed you? Would that be humane?
Yeah, because humans do it. Like that's what people do. Like
So
people
if
do.
I just randomly took you, put you to sleep, and then killed you, that would be perfectly humane.
Yeah, but that would like probably make you a
That's
psychopath.
murder.
So.
That's murder, sir.
Yeah, exactly. That would make you a
Okay.
psychopath.
Oh, so you label me a psychopath there, but when you do it to the animals, you're perfectly fine?
Yeah, but you don't kill me to survive. You wouldn't murder me to survive.
You don't kill animals to survive either.
Yes, we do because we eat them.
Yeah, but you don't have to.
Yes, we do.
Why? Why do you have to eat
Okay, so
animals?
like if
Why?
you look like, there's something called like the phylogenetic tree, and we can see our ancestors and everything. And if we look at our ancestors, we see them eating meat. And
Our,
we
ancestors,
evolved
our
from them.
ancestors also were cannibals. Should we be cannibals too?
What did you say? Can you please repeat that?
Our ancestors were cannibals. They ate each other.
No, our ancestors are not cannibals. That's not
Yes,
what I'm
they
talking
were.
about.
Yes,
I'm talking
Homo
about
erectus,
evolution,
Homo ergaster.
what we evolved
Yes,
from.
Neanderthals. They were cannibals. They ate each
Huh?
other. Should we do that today too?
Huh?
Should we eat
No.
each other too because our ancestors did it?
Okay, but what kind of our ancestors ate? Like were cannibals.
Our ancestors ate each other. They were cannibals. They also ate shit.
But what
They also
ancestors
ate
like?
bark. They also graped each other. Should we do all that too because our ancestors did it?
But what? We don't have that type of ancestors. I don't know what species are you talking about?
Humans.
No, what? Since when was humans cannibals?
A couple hundred thousand years ago. Our ancestors.
So, 100,000 years ago,
Yes,
every
our
human was
ancestors
cannibal.
were cannibals. Yes, humans.
But that what? Okay, but that's just we evolved from that to like because we have ancestors that eat meat.
Yeah,
Like
we don't have. The point is, we don't have to eat each other anymore. We don't have to eat meat at all anymore. We have stores.
yeah, we have stores with meat.
Yeah, we don't have to eat the meat though. That's the problem, right? The problem is we don't have to kill the animals anymore. We can eat plants.
Okay, but we just don't have to eat plants. Like we could survive by eating meat.
Yeah, but the problem is that you're harming animals, right? So
We're not
why do you
harming
think
animals.
what justifies you killing
already
animals
told
for
you.
food and when we don't
I
have to?
already told you that we don't have to harm them to kill them.
Well, you do. You have to kill them in the first place. You have to kill the animals. But by the way, more importantly, 99% of animals that you guys kill are factory farmed.
No,
So
because
they're not getting very nice lives. But more importantly, you're killing all the animals that you eat, you have to kill. And you're killing them for no reason. That's the problem.
I don't know, you're like talking about me a lot. It's not me killing it. It's not like you have to kill your own. It's not like you have to kill your own food. Like
Yeah, you
you're
pay for
talking.
it. That's why we live in the 21st century.
But we're like
Money,
the same
right?
species, so
pay
you can't
for
say
it.
like you can't say I keep like you people. You can't say you people. We're like the same.
Yeah, you do. You pay for this. You cause these animals to die. You are demanding these animals to die with your money.
What? No, I'm just paying for the food.
Yeah, if I paid for somebody to be killed for me, am I responsible for that death?
Well, not really.
Really? So you think so if I paid a hitman to kill somebody, I'm not responsible at all? I'm innocent? I'm innocent.
I mean,
I didn't kill anybody.
yeah,
Even though I
you're
paid
innocent.
this guy
You
to do
didn't
it?
kill anyone. The hitman did. So
Really? So okay, let's all go around paying
technically, you
hitmen to
didn't
kill each
kill.
other. No, this is ridiculous. That's still killing. That's still murder. I paid somebody to kill somebody. That's murder.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. But I mean, meat it tastes it tastes hella good. So
Okay, so now you're reduced to taste. Okay. You're
No.
saying I get to kill somebody because of the way they taste, right? What if a person tasted good? Would you kill a person if they taste good?
No, because I'm not a cannibal.
Right. So you wouldn't kill a person even though they tasted good. So why do you think it's okay to kill a cow because they taste good? What's the morally relevant difference there?
Because that's not like that's just nature.
It's also nature to be cannibal. It's also
No,
nature to
so,
grape.
so you're saying it's okay to be cannibal?
No, that's what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Great. So then what's the morally relevant difference between eating a cow and a person? What's the difference?
So you're saying like people being cannibals right now is like it's like a part of nature. They're just like. Is that what you're saying?
No, you're not tracking with the argument here. You said it's wrong to kill a person for the way they taste, but it's okay to kill a cow for the way they taste. What is the difference between killing the cow and the person?
Okay, but
Wait.
aren't plants living organisms?
Yeah, but they're not sentient.
Huh?
Yeah, but they're not sentient. They don't have consciousness.
Okay, but if you only eat plants, couldn't that affect like the food for other animals who also only eat plants?
It affects it better because vegans kill less plants than meat eaters.
Okay, but let's say you like you eat like a bunch of plants, and it like reduces the food for the animals who eat plants. You basically eat their food.
And you can't argue this because you're this is what you're doing, right? You're arguing against yourself right now because meat eaters kill way more plants than vegans do.
How do meat eaters kill plants? What?
Oh, it's simple. What do you think animals eat on farms? What do they eat?
Plants. If
right. Where do we get all these plants? where do we get all these plants for these animals?
We grow them.
That's right. We grow all these plants to feed the animals, right? 75% of crops in the world are fed to animals. That's why you guys kill way more than any vegan.
Okay, so let's say everybody would like turn vegan. How would this change?
We'd all be healthier. There'd be less animal cruelty. There'd be more trees. There'd be less.
But how would we be
emissions.
healthier?
There'd be a better planet.
Trust me, I'm healthy and I eat meat.
It'd be a much better world.
No, we would not be healthier just because we only eat plants. That makes no sense because I eat meat.
Sure, we had the EPIC study. We had the EPIC study, the Adventist Health 2 study. We have many studies showing that vegans are actually healthier and have less disease.
Okay, but like, how does eating plants make you get like less diseases? Like,
plants have fiber, antioxidants. They have lots of nutrients. They're very healthy for you. Whereas meat clogs your arteries.
Meat does indeed have that also.
Right, but meat clogs your arteries, right? So when you eat cholesterol, it goes into your arteries and it destroys your arterial walls, and it produces a layer of white cells.
So it does this to
that become plaques and develop in your body. And
so a lion should turn vegan because meat does this to your body. Is that what you're saying? So a lion should turn vegan because meat isn't as healthy as plants.
No, lions are carnivores. We're not carnivores. But more importantly, lions don't have stores. We do.
Okay, but now you're just like talking away because apparently it's healthier. So let's say we would like a lion who's in a zoo. Let's say we only like feed them plants and give them no meat at all. Like if they're in a zoo, they basically have a store, or like the people who work at the zoo decide what the lions eat. If they would only eat them feed them plants, they wouldn't eat it. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So like, what is like what do you mean? Okay.
All right. Have a good day, sir.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right, guys, keep tapping. Let's get some more peeps in here. Please subscribe to my YouTube. Please subscribe. Thank you so much. Hey, what do you got?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I want to argue about, I guess I could do God first, yeah. So you claim that because the universe could be eternal, that it is illogical that God could be eternal?
No, I'm saying there's no evidence of a God.
Okay. Well, are you talking about proof or evidence? Because those are two different things.
Whatever you got. Give me anything for God. What do you got?
All right. Well, I believe there was a guest named Gabe. He kind of got into it, but I would have gone more into it, I would say. The order and design of the universe is one of the main pointing factors to the existence of a God, you know. There are little motor proteins that move across our DNA step by step. I don't know if you've seen those videos. They're pretty interesting. But
yeah.
There's a lot of perfection that goes into the materiality of, you know, a person, you know.
Yeah, perfection, right? Like cancer, like genetic disorders.
Well, those are mutations that occur based off of, you know, things that we do in our personal life. There's lots of clear causes to cancer.
Cancer is a malfunction of the cell that when it replicates, it becomes mutated. That is a byproduct of biology. It is a biological necessity that things like that happen because errors are embedded inside of our DNA. DNA is a very errored thing. It's a very mistaken molecule. It makes all kinds of mistakes all the time, and that's literally why we evolve. So the point here is that, first of all, there's nothing perfect about our bodies, but more importantly, if you're going to say that this is design, how do you know that this is designed versus something that's non-designed? What's the difference between the two things, and how do you compare or contrast? Because if you're going to say everything's designed, well, then I can say everything's not designed, and there's no difference between these two ideas, right? So how do you tell the difference between these two things?
So I want to go back to perfection first. I didn't claim that humans were perfect. I claim that the way that we carried out our lives, the way that we replicate, the way that, human progression exists, I think that's a kind of a pointing factor to, the perfection of design specifically. There's obviously things like cancer, you get the common flu, whatever. There's obviously sickness, there's obviously things that go wrong in our bodies, but that is part of the perfect design that goes into, what we carry out in our lives.
Really? So you're saying cancer is a perfect design. So what's a non-perfect design look like?
When there is no order in things, and, everything in our world has order. Like
everything has order, even supernovae explosions. That's orderly?
Yes, because that is a byproduct of our universe expanding.
No. Supernovae explosions are not orderly. That's nonsense. They're the least orderly things. In fact, the universe is becoming more disorderly over time. The universe is extremely chaotic. The universe is a complete chaotic place. Supernovae, neutron stars, black holes colliding. There's a lot of stuff that happens that you don't understand that is very chaotic. And when you say order, well, isn't God orderly?
God is an orderly being, yes.
Then by your logic, somebody designed God.
But by your logic, because you think that the universe could be eternal, that falls out of your logic that when it comes to science, because all matter has a beginning.
No, matter never begins. That's nonsense. Matter is always conserved. But also, the universe could be necessarily this way. There could be deterministic reason why this universe is this way. God, if you're going to say that God is just orderly by design, well, we can appeal to the same logic with the universe and say the universe is always this way. You have no more explanatory power over a naturalist.
Sorry, I had to change rooms. There's a bit of commotion. But,
It's perfect. That was a perfect God design.
So, I'm sorry, could you repeat what you said in that last sentence or last two sentences? I couldn't hear it quite well.
What I said was that there's no difference between a non-design and a designed entity. If you're going to say everything's designed, I can say nothing's designed. And both hypotheses are the same.
Okay, but there's laws in science stating that, matter comes from other matter, as in the animate comes from the animate, and the inanimate doesn't come from nothing.
No, there's no such law. We have abiogenesis, which demonstrates life can and does come from non-life. This is a fact. We know that life comes from non-life. It's the only place it can come from. Plus, we can actually make life from scratch in labs. So we know that there are a vast sequence of chemical, physical sequences that happened in our past, which led us to today. And there's no need in this picture for a God.
Do you consider cells animate or inanimate?
Animate.
Animate, okay. So could you give me an example of a non-animate object producing an animate object?
Sure, we can polymerize RNA, for example, in labs. RNA is just a basic nucleic acid which can replicate. And this can be produced by basic nucleotides with phosphate minerals combined. And this reaction yields an RNA, which is a molecule that can produce and reproduce. That's life from non-life. But more importantly, life itself is not an object, it's a process. So when we talk about life coming from non-life, what that means is that the interactions between your cells and between your DNA, these molecules, they can yield this emergent process of life. Because life is a process. It's not an object.
well, cells are animate, and through a form of sexual reproduction, cells produce,
Right, but the only reason why they're alive is because of the interactions going on in those organic compounds within those cells. There's nothing about your DNA that makes you alive. DNA is not alive. It's just a molecule. The things that make you up are not alive. But what makes you alive is the emergent process yielded by those interactions in your body. Trillions of cells working together, sustaining life. That's life from non-life. Every time you eat food and drink water, that's life, that's non-life, turning into life. Because when you eat food, your body breaks it down, those things become, they sustain your life process.
Right.
Every day, life comes from non-life in your body.
All right. We are a bit off topic, I feel like, though. When it comes to, the creation of the universe, you say that the Big Bang is an expansion of our material that was just there from the beginning? Or how do you perceive the Big Bang, since you seem to be a firm believer?
The Big Bang is only the end of our observations of the universe. It's the furthest we can see in the universe. We can't see much further than that. It's not the beginning necessarily. It's just a moment in time where the universe rapidly inflated into a larger universe. And that's all the Big Bang means.
And you say that you don't know what is beyond that. Nobody knows,
especially not you.
Okay. Nobody knows, though. And looking at something that we don't have a cause for, something that... Wait, so you think the Big Bang is an expansion of what was already there, or do you think the Big Bang produced the ability for things to expand? Because I don't understand what you're saying about that.
Big Bang is the method, the mechanism that allowed for the universe to expand itself. Space and time itself is stretching, and what that means is that there's some property of space and time, we call it dark energy, that's kind of like gravity but reversed. It's like gravity attracts things, but dark energy repels things. So this dark energy is embedded within space and time itself, stretching apart space and time. And that's what's causing the expansion in the Big Bang.
You said that time is relative, though, and that time has no definite definition, though, right?
Time is a relative thing. The passage of time is perceptual, but time itself is very real. The difference, though, being the passage of time, the ticking of a clock, that is not real. Mm-hmm. That's something our brains do. Mm-hmm. But fundamentally speaking, time is a dimension. It could be static, it could be infinite. And relativity has a way of defying our intuitions about how the universe operates.
Okay. But you say the progression of time is definite, right? The progression.
No, time does not progress. That's only our perception.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, and because of that, the universe could be eternal for all we know. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. All right. I see that. But again, where did that matter come from in the beginning?
Well, the matter could have always existed in some way. Just like God always existed, we can say the universe always existed.
But the thing is that matter... Okay, you say that the inanimate forms the animate, okay? But what forms the inanimate in that case, then?
What do you mean? What forms the inanimate? Nothing formed matter.
Exactly. So, how did it come to be? How did it expand? Where did it expand from? 0 times whatever is still 0.
The Big Bang doesn't mean there's one point where everything expands from. The Big Bang is happening right now. It's happening around you. All points of the universe are stretching away from each other. But the point is that it's appealing to look around and go, who made all this, or what caused all this? What started all this? The problem is that we now know in science that the universe can be infinite in space and time itself. It can go on and forever. And in that sense, it does not have to be a beginning or a start. Energy and matter could always have existed in some fundamental form. We don't know yet what it is.
I feel like your definition of the Big Bang is very personal, because how NASA describes it is how the universe began. That's how NASA describes it. That's how most, research institutes describe it. They describe
when they say how the universe began, what they mean is how our current day universe, how we observe it, began. But beginnings are arbitrary. That doesn't mean that that's the absolute beginning. It means that that's the beginning of what we can see.
All right, but they state that it started as a single point of compacted matter and energy. That
single volume of energy, yes, but that's not necessarily the absolute start. There could be something before that we don't know yet.
That states that's not truly the beginning, that there's something before, because all I've heard from everyone that I've ever debated is that they believe the Big Bang is a beginning, but I haven't heard anything that says otherwise.
I don't understand where you're going to go with this, because even if there was a beginning, that doesn't mean God exists.
But the thing is that matter has to come from somewhere. If
we
don't know,
saying matter, it's like saying God had to come from somewhere. Where did God come from? Right.
But the thing is, according to the faith of Christ, God is outside of space and time. He doesn't have to have a beginning, as we see. Science has to have a base.
Why can't we just appeal to something like a quantum field that's beyond our space time, and that's what gave rise to our space time? Why can't that be the case?
Well, science is a thing that we discovered here on Earth. Science isn't formed. Science isn't, something that we tested and somehow made ourselves. Science was discovered within Earth, just like math was.
Yeah, and you haven't discovered anything about your God, right? You're just saying God did it. It doesn't do anything for you. God is just a word, right? It's just a placeholder. It's just a filler. It's just a word. You have no evidence of this God. You have no reason to think this God exists. You have no mechanism or theory behind this God. You have nothing but a word. Whereas in science, we actually have lots of evidence behind the Big Bang and the quantum fields and these things, and none of them require God.
We can't define the supernatural with scientific evidence. That is irrational.
Well, that's not my problem. That's your problem, that you can't define the thing you believe in.
But what we call an uncaused cause is supernatural. That's what's caused.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that doesn't make any sense in science.
Again, science is a thing that we discovered here on Earth. For example, you have 3 plants in front of you. That's a mathematical thing, that we discovered.
Yeah. So how do you know God exists?
How do I know God exists? Based off of certain evidence, such as, apart from order and design, you don't seem to like that one very much. Moral absolutes is another one. There's a lot of green and red when it comes to moral absolutes that are very easily definable.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So what's a moral green? What's a moral red?
A moral red. Okay. Murder is bad. Murder is bad.
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
But are you going to say that's an absolute fact, that no matter what anybody says, that's true?
I know what you're going to tie it back to, and what God did is give us free will to carry out.
No. Just, are you saying that is an absolute fact that murder is wrong? That no matter what anybody says about it,
that is a moral absolute that is embedded into the normal human mind. That is a normal moral absolute that is embedded into the normal human mind, because we have the understanding that we have to expand as a species, and that we have to assist each other in this growth. And of course, there are people who have the free saying of killing someone because they did something that they don't like. There's all that. And there's evil in this world for the reason that.
Okay. The problem is that you have not shown that murder is absolutely wrong. I understand it feels wrong to us, but you've not shown that beyond our minds or beyond stances that there's something objective about murder being wrong. How do you know that beyond your mind it's wrong, that there's some law of nature that says it's wrong? How do you know that?
Well, you said it yourself. You said that we feel that it is wrong. There's nothing that needs to be outside of what is in ourselves to say that.
That's subjective. That makes it subjective.
But you said yourself that we feel as a people that murder is wrong.
Yeah, feelings are not absolute.
But they are in a sense if that is something that everybody absolutely feels.
No, that's just their feelings, right? That's just their subjective opinions.
But if it is common across the human race, then it is an absolute, even if it is a feeling.
No, it's not an absolute. There's nothing absolute about our opinions about something.
Well, just like we can have the feeling of being happy or sad, and we know that it is across the human race that we can feel happy or sad.
Yeah, those are subjective experiences. They're not objective facts.
But if if murder is absolute across the entirety of the human mind, then it is an absolute, no matter if
it's not. How about Jeffrey Dahmer? Jeffrey Dahmer thought murder was okay.
Again, God gave us free will.
No. Jeffrey Dahmer thought. He never thought that it was wrong. He was born a psychopath.
He was purposely trying to cover it up with his neighbors. He purposely trying to cover it up with the cops. He knows
he didn't want the consequences of society, but he never thought it was wrong. Because guess what? There are people that have brain malfunctions or brain injuries. They're messed up, right? Because not every human mind has the same opinions. But even if they did, it wouldn't make it objective. Because by definition, subjectivity requires a mind. And if a mind is experiencing it or saying it, it is subjective. Your job is to show that there's something beyond the mind, right? Beyond our stances, that there's some fact that says it is wrong to murder and there's no other option. This is it.
All right. What you said is that Dahmer had a mental illness, and that is irregular, right? If someone is irregular and is killing people, they might not possess the absolute because they are an irregular human.
Right. So then it's not absolute because not everybody has it.
Well, there are obvious imperfections in the way that we progress through life.
Okay. And you have yet to show, you see, you're not really understanding, right? You have yet to show why there's some absolutes about morality. Do you know what absolute means?
Well, the fact that we can see that people with mental illnesses go out and do terrible things because they have the free will to do so. And the normal...
We don't have free will. Let's stop with the free will. I'm asking you about absolutes. What is an absolute to you?
An absolute is something that can be defined, as one across the entirety of a specific species.
No, that's not absolute. What absolute means is beyond stances, beyond minds. It's objectively true. There's nothing, nobody's stance or mind can change that.
Okay, so across the entirety of the human race, murder is wrong. And if you think otherwise,
that's not true. There are many tribes that think murder is okay. There are many people that think murder is okay.
Yeah, but because they are irregular, because they have an irregular, whatever mind, they think that it is right in that case.
You're not understanding, sir. This is the last time I'm going to try this with you, right? When you say something's absolute, it means that it's beyond anybody's mind, beyond anybody's stances. If we are minds, we don't have epistemic access to absolutes. That's what I'm asking you for. I'm asking you for how you know there's something absolutely wrong about murder or stealing or anything you think.
Well, I described it a bit earlier. It's the fact that we know as a human race that we have to progress through
No, we
society.
feel that way. We feel it that way, but does it make it true?
I don't know.
All right. Have a good day. Hey, what do you got?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to sit there and tell everyone that murder is okay.
No, did I ever say that?
Well, in a roundabout way, you sure did.
Well, that's not my position, ma'am. I don't think murder is ever okay. So stop straw manning me, and please give an argument.
Okay. Number one, not everyone can be vegan.
Why not?
Because people have health conditions, maybe they cannot eat those
Oh, but guess what, ma'am? Veganism is not a diet. It's an ethical stance.
Well, I'm a fitness person.
Ma'am, can you address what I just told you? Veganism is not a diet. It's an ethical position.
Okay, so you eat meat?
No. No,
have an
ma'am.
ethical
Do you
position
have
on
an
it?
argument for us today before I kick you off?
I'm going to say this. I think you're just absolute nut. Goodbye.
All right, ma'am. I'll be looking for your fitness techniques. P90X Tammy edition. All right, what do you got?
Can you explain not having free will? How do we not have free will?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you understand the laws of physics, you recognize that everything I do is determined by some physical law. I don't control my wants. I don't control my desires. How can I control the actions I do?
Like what if you like something over like you like cake over something else?
Yeah. So you're saying, oh, you like cake over, pasta or something.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that did I choose to want cake over pasta? Did I really choose that want? No. My brain is doing something in my head. I'm going, I like this. And I do that, right? I perform that action. I don't choose what I want or desire, right? In everything I choose, I'm actually choosing based on what my brain is doing, which I don't control.
So who has the control then? Just the things that happen to you?
There's nobody controlling it. The thing is that there seems to be laws of physics that determine how we operate.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's a very human thing to inject, this personhood to reality. It's great to do that, personify things, but it's not required.
Okay, so you say we should go vegan. Why do you say that?
How old are you?
Older than you, buddy.
Yeah, that didn't answer the question. Hello? All right, yeah, this is not worth my time. Next. Older than you, buddy.
Wait.
Hello? Bye-bye.
How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, what do you got?
Hello, I'm Scott. I live in Vermont. So you said God is imaginary. I'm not even talking about that right now. It says go vegan. All right. So the cows, the sheep, every animal pretty much in the whole world is vegan. So if we eat the meat from that animal, is that not vegan? Seeing that they eat the grass and everything else. They don't eat other meat.
Sir, you are consuming animal body parts. That's not vegan. Veganism means you don't consume animal products.
What
When
does
you eat
vegan
them,
mean?
you're not being vegan.
But cows and stuff, they're vegan. They don't eat other animals.
No,
they
no,
don't eat other meat.
No, they're not vegan. They're herbivorous. Animals can't be vegan. Vegan takes a philosophical mind. But the
All
point
right.
is that you're not being vegan by eating animals. That's nonsense. That's absolutely contradictory.
But they eat grass. They're vegan.
All right.
Why can't we eat
yeah.
them? No, hold on.
Hi, I'm Tom. Hi, I'm Tom. Reminds me of that guy. Hey, what do you got?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Unfortunately.
Okay. So the point that I heard you make earlier while I was just sitting here listening was that free will is maybe for you specifically, it's not specifically not specifically who, but like what is controlling our free will. So I guess my wonder is from your standpoint, what do you believe is controlling it? If there's anything controlling it, or if it's just coming from
Just nature, just laws of physics, right? Just nature.
Excuse me. So I wonder because if we, sorry, I'm just
Okay,
thinking
do
about.
you have an argument today? You're gonna just ramble
Yeah.
about free will. We're
Yes, I
talking
have an
about these
argument. My
topics. We're not talking about free will, right?
Yeah,
What's
I'm
your
talking
evidence?
about God as a whole, and then how free will, that subfield of God. So when we love each other, when we love people, and we honor people and everything, I wonder, like, when we get that feeling of love, and we present that feeling to people, I don't understand how, if we're just robots in the universe, how we can feel love, how we can give love to people and have that interaction with people, because life grows hard and it's miserable.
Okay,
when
so
you don't.
can you choose? Can you choose to love me right now? Can you just choose to love me?
Yeah, sure.
No, like romantically.
Well, I mean, love isn't specifically romantic all the time.
Yeah,
Love
can you
comes
choose
in
to
many-
love me romantically?
romantically? I guess not. No.
Right. So my point is, you can't choose who you love. You don't choose to love somebody, right? Love is a reaction in the mind. And yes, it is physically controlled, but the problem is that you think there has to be some agency there. Why? Why can't we experience love whether or not we're determined to do so? The experience is still real. It's still valid. No matter if we're determined or where we chose it, it's still a very real phenomenon that does not require free will.
Like, outside of romantic love, the outside of like sexual and sexual orientation of love, when I choose to love like a friend, just a friend,
Yeah, you can't choose that either, right? Technically speaking, you don't choose anything, right? You don't choose how you feel. Feelings are produced by the brain, and the brain's neurons are running and firing, and you have certain feelings from that. Your experience is utterly and completely determined by laws of nature, physics, chemistry, right? There's no agency needed for love, and it might feel like it. It feels like we have the freedom to choose, but that's an illusion, as it seems to be. Neuroscience shows us that the brain is functioning and this feeling, these experiences are emergent.
Then why does science also show that when we have people in our life that we love, and that we have people in our life to love and everything, that life becomes a lot easier and we live longer? It's shown that we live longer when we love people and we have people in our life. I just feel like that comes from somewhere. If it's not like just in neuroscience, like the fact that it's almost like we're programmed to do so. And I don't feel like this comes from just, matter and energy or whatever else, whatever you think.
Why not? Why can't matter and energy produce these amazing experiences of
This
love?
is like order and design. I mean, this is like, it's so detailed to the last minute thing that it doesn't, I mean, just.
What do you mean detailed? What's a non-detailed universe look like?
Well, I say like just in correlation to I believe in the Bible, I believe in the Christian God and Jesus. So the correlation, and just the arguments that are made. And I'm not saying I know everything because I'm young and stuff. I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to live.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 16.
Oh man, you sound older. You sounded older. Hey, what do you got?
God is real. Read the Bible. Learn the truth. That's what I got.
Okay, great. Let's read the Bible. Leviticus 20:13, where it says you can kill people. Okay, let's read talking donkeys. Numbers 22. Donkeys can talk. Let's read Genesis. The sun comes before plants. Plants come before the sun.
You just don't read it properly. If you don't know, you don't know.
Man, the Bible's nonsense. It's ancient barbarism.
It's written metaphorically, so if you can't read through the lines, then it's obviously not made for you. So
maybe God's a metaphor.
Yes.
Maybe God's a metaphor.
God is a metaphor. Where did you get that from, buddy?
You just said everything in the Bible is a metaphor.
No, I said it's written metaphorically, so you have to read through it.
Right, so maybe God's a metaphor.
How would God be a metaphor?
You tell me. How is it not?
You're the one claiming God's a metaphor. You tell me.
Well, it seems you said that everything in the Bible is a metaphor. So show me that God isn't.
Ooh,
Where's
y'all
the
have
evidence of God?
angry people. God is not a metaphor. I said the Bible is written metaphorically.
Prove it.
Read it.
I did. It's nonsense.
Okay, go vegan.
Man, do you have an argument today, or are you gonna waste our time?
What argument? I didn't have an argument. I just said God is real.
Yeah, we can tell. Subscribe to the YouTube, guys. YouTube, link in bio, please.
Hello?
Yeah.
So do you think veganism is like a moral high ground to being carnivorous?
Yeah, if you think that harming animals is wrong, yeah, no shit, it's better.
So plant-based agriculture doesn't harm any animals whatsoever?
When did I ever say that?
Well, you just said that harming animals isn't acceptable whatsoever.
No, I actually never said that. See, what I said was, as a vegan, we want to minimize cruelty to the animals and the plants.
So you're morally superior dependent upon a arbitrary number that you decide is
No, you're causing more animal cruelty and animal death by shooting animals or killing animals or putting them in gas chambers, right? You're intentionally causing harm to the animals, whereas vegans cause no harm intentionally to the animals.
So as long as it's unintentional.
Hold on. Okay. I understand as a byproduct of necessity that some animals die in the process of me producing crops, but I can't stop that. I can't prevent all deaths. That's not what veganism means. Veganism is about minimizing cruelty, minimizing death.
Well, some deaths is actually estimated to be about 7.3 billion deaths per year for plant-based agriculture.
Yeah, and guess what? Most of that is from meat eaters, because meat eaters kill most of the crops.
That's plant-based agriculture. That's not the meat industry slaughters. Okay, yeah. So globally, the meat industry slaughters between 70 and 150 billion animals each year.
Yeah, exactly. You're killing way more animals than I am.
But the crop monoculture death toll is about 7.3 billion. That's not.
And most of those crops
going up intentionally killing.
Did you know that 90% of soy is grown for animals? Did you know that 75% of crops, like monoculture, like corn and wheat, are grown for animals?
Okay, but again, animals still die in the process, whether intentionally or unintentionally, in plant-based agriculture.
Sir, look. In order for us to not kill any animals, we'd all be dead. That's stupid. I understand that some animals are going to die. But what we can do as vegans is minimize it. I don't know why you want to maximize it.
Well, your whole argument is about a moral high ground is the problem with veganism.
Do you think it's better to kill less animals or kill more animals?
You can't be morally superior based on an arbitrary number.
Is it better to kill less animals or more animals?
You're not morally superior.
Sir, is it better to you to kill more animals or less animals?
To me, it really doesn't matter.
Really? So you think there's no difference between killing 80 billion animals and 7 billion? There's no difference?
Is that harming the earth in any way?
Yeah, meat eaters are destroying the planet, but most deforestation is caused by you guys. Most greenhouse gas emissions caused by you guys.
Well, deforestation would happen with agriculture as well.
Yes, and most of that is for animals.
In order to grow crops.
For animals.
For animals. For vegans as well.
Yeah, but mostly for your animals that you abuse.
So your entire vegan argument is based on an arbitrary number that you came up with to say, hey,
we have the numbers.
We'll kill
you said them. You said the numbers. You said them.
7.3 billion.
100 billion for you.
Yep.
Great. So as a vegan, I want to minimize those deaths. You're maximizing them. You're making them larger. Why?
Okay, so does that mean that it's still unacceptable if a animal dies of natural causes to eat that animal?
Well, I wouldn't want to kill anybody. I would not want to eat any animal who didn't have to be eaten, right? Just like me, if I die tomorrow, I wouldn't want my body eaten by other people, right? Same applies to the animals. I give animals a moral consideration just like I give people.
Everybody is a part of the food chain. Cannibalism.
But it doesn't give you the right to slaughter animals when you don't have to be part of the food chain.
It also doesn't mean that you don't have to.
Well, that's why we have ethics. What's the better choice? To kill more animals or less animals? And you didn't answer the question yet.
Ethics is based on a societal moral compass.
Yeah, and that's why I'm asking you. You're part of our society. Do you think it's wrong or good to kill dogs, to kill animals, if you don't have to?
Okay, well, we're not going to take it down the route of dogs or humans because we don't do that. We've decided that that is morally and ethically wrong.
Exactly. You think it's wrong to kill dogs for food, but why is it okay to kill a cow for food? What's the difference?
Because as a society, we've determined that that is okay.
Right, but to you, why do you think it's okay to kill a dog? If society, like, for example, if tomorrow society said it's okay to grape, would you think it's okay to grape?
No, I would not.
Right. So society is not the only factor in your ethics, right?
These aren't things that are determined in a day. These are things that are determined over time. And in some societies, cows are held as sacred, right?
What?
In some cultures, cows are held as sacred. So we don't have just this baseline of everybody eats cows.
Right, but your actions is all I care about. Your actions are harming and abusing animals that are being tortured in factories. Those are your actions. You're killing way more animals than I am. You're killing more trees and more crops. So why would you want to do that and continue doing that when you can stop doing that? Simply.
You could stop doing that. As far as slaughterhouses, you could have a more ethic-based way of...
Yeah, that's called veganism, right? You're stopping slaughterhouses.
No, that's keeping with being carnivorous.
What?
You can ethically kill animals in order to consume.
How do you ethically kill animals so they don't have to die?
Well, you take away slaughterhouses so that they're not inseminated and killed in mass.
Well, how are we going to feed 8 billion people without doing that?
That's very simple.
You're going to kill 8 billion animals a day you're going to kill billions of animals every day without factory farming. Factory farming is a necessity for the amount of demand that you guys place upon your food, your diet. That's the problem. You are demanding all these animals to die. Vegans are saying, no, hey, let's stop doing this. It's ridiculous. It's not required at all. That's why I think I'm morally superior. Even to you. Even to you, you think it's wrong to kill a dog. I agree. So why are you being hypocritical here?
I'm not being hypocritical. It's
still...
Okay, so even with veganism, you have to supplement your diet for things like B12. That's not something that I don't have to take a pill for B12.
Well, the funny thing you said that just because, in fact, most meat eaters are also deficient in B12. In fact, the numbers are actually equal. In fact, studies have done this that show this. But more importantly, B12 is injected in most factory farmed cows, which means that you're already supplementing with B12. And B12 does not come from animals. It comes from bacteria. And okay, I take a supplement once a week or twice a week. Okay, congratulations. It's better to take a fucking pill than to kill and torture animals.
According to you and your moral ethics.
Well, okay, great. Yeah, how about you? Do you think it's better to torture an animal, stuff a pig in a gas chamber, or take a B12 supplement?
Well, I think I speak for most when I say we all love bacon.
Yeah. But the pig doesn't, right? The pig that you abuse doesn't like bacon, right? That's the problem, right? You think it's cute, but the problem is that you're torturing animals for no reason. Why?
I didn't abuse the pig, and I didn't torture the animals.
But you paid for that.
As you have paid for, what kind of phone do you use? Do you use an iPhone?
Oh,
Use
now you're gonna
anything?
pivot.
Well,
We're not
we
talking
gotta.
about phones. We're talking about animals.
Well, if we're talking about torture and inhumane treatment, they go hand in hand when you look at the overseas child abuse that takes place in order for you to enjoy the things that you do.
Yeah, we're not talking about child abuse here. We're talking about animal rights. But more importantly, I agree with you. We should take child abuse into consideration, of course. But
you still
the
buy
phone I am
things that are made in
using does
China.
not use child abuse, right? The phone I'm using does not use child
Oh,
abuse.
it's eco-friendly.
But more importantly, there's nothing I can do. I have to function in society. So there are reasons why I have a phone in a car to get to fucking work. If I don't have a car, I don't survive. So there are reasons why I need a phone in a car to survive. It's my job.
Okay.
So the problem is that you're making this terrible argument because you're trying to deflect from the fact that you're killing and abusing animals. You're not willing to actually look at the elephant in the room and attack that. You're just saying, oh, well, you buy phones. This is an argument from futility.
So you're saying it's a necessity for you to support abuse of humans, which you've used in arguments
No,
before.
what I'm saying is
Would
that
you eat a human?
What I'm saying, stop. This is ridiculous. What I'm saying is that I can not stop from having a car or a phone. I need it for my job to survive in modern society. I can't stop that. But I can advocate against those things, right? I can purchase certain products that minimize that. That's what veganism is about. Veganism is about minimizing harm. For some reason, you want to deflect and maximize harm.
Okay, we'll go back. We'll drop the rest. We'll go back. So if we increase the plant-based agriculture, that also increases, number one, that 7.3 billion number up to God knows how much.
No,
and then
that's incorrect. That's incorrect.
Yes, because we would have to create more.
No.
You would need more farming.
No. We'd actually have to create less because most of the crops go to animals already. That's why studies like reducing food's impact, environmental impact on producers and consumers demonstrates that if everybody went vegan, we would actually save 75% of land and be able to feed everybody without eating any animals.
So if most of the animals grown go to animals, what would happen to the animals at the point of, would you just release them back into the wild, and then what would they eat? Because you'd have to protect the crops from the animals.
So what would happen? See, here we go again, another argument from futility, but sure, I'll entertain this nonsense.
What?
If everybody were to go vegan tomorrow and all the animals in factories were still there, well, guess what we do? We'd turn those factories into sanctuaries. We would host places where these animals can stay and be fed, and slowly and surely their populations would dwindle as we stop producing them into existence and bring them into existence. But then the populations would slowly decline, and it'd be a win-win for everybody. Less animal torture and slowly more food for us.
Okay, so the animals would still eat the crops that are mostly grown for the animals.
Yeah.
But you would still have to protect crops from animals, and you would have to use
We'd
pesticides.
have to grow less crop. The point is we'd have to grow less crops to maintain these animals, right? The point of veganism is to minimize the amount of animals we breed into existence. This way we have less crops to produce, we have less animals to kill, and less abuse.
So how many crops are grown a year?
I don't know, billions? What's your point?
Okay, 36% of the global crop calories are used to feed animals, of which only 12% becomes human food.
Right.
So you would have to increase production of agriculture.
No, because guess what? Animals eat 7 times more food than humans. So that 40% you just mentioned, would be reduced down to about maybe 15%.
With wild animals running free and rampant to harm the crops that would go to...
No, we'd still be protecting our crops. We'd still be having...
You would still be protecting it with pesticides and...
Okay, yeah, there'd be less pesticides. Yay, it's a better world. There'd be less pesticides, less animal cruelty. It's a win-win for everybody if we all go vegan. It's a win-win.
I feel like that's bullshit.
Oh, really? So the studies I mentioned today, I mentioned 2 studies to you today. You want more studies to demonstrate vegans kill less crops?
Vegans kill less crops?
Yeah.
I'm not arguing against vegans killing crops.
No. See, you're not really tracking to the argument here. I gave you a study just now that demonstrated that vegans kill less crops and less land. Do you agree?
Kill it?
We destroy it. We destroy less land and crops.
You destroy less land to produce more crops?
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
No.
Okay, great. So here's a study. Reducing food's environmental impacts through producers and consumers. It's an Oxford peer-reviewed study that demonstrates vegans use about 75% less land, hence less crops for production, for food production. And if everybody went vegan, we would actually save that much land, 70%, and be able to feed everybody. There's a study for you.
So vegans use less crops, or
Correct.
less land to produce.
Correct.
But there's only approximately 79 million vegans in the world. So you're comparing a very small subset of the population.
No, we're not.
And then
We're
saying that if
no,
that...
we're talking about, we're not talking, no, stop. We're not talking about only vegans. We're talking about the entire globe. We're talking about everybody. If everybody were to go vegan, we would actually use less crops versus today for the entire planet.
Again, I'm not making the argument that you seem to think that I'm making. Maybe if you just let me speak. There are 79 million vegans approximately across the world. You're looking up a study of their impact to the agricultural land at 79 million. What you seem to not be taking into account is if the 7.8 billion people in the world then contributed to veganism, that number would not go down or stay stagnant.
You didn't listen. I just explained this to you. You didn't listen to me. I just explained that that study I mentioned accounted for the entire globe, not just for vegans. The entire globe was accounted for in that study. Do you understand now? Do you get it?
What was that study?
Reducing food's environmental impacts to producers and consumers. One of the largest studies ever done on environmental impacts on food.
Oh, from science.org?
Yeah, it's a peer-reviewed scientific paper.
I'm not.
Okay, go look it up, sir. Have a good day. Go look it up. Go do your research. You're obviously confused. Hey, what do you got?
I want to go back. I understand the whole argument, but what he was saying is 1% of the global population is vegan, just 1%. It's been proven. All right, when we stop killing these cows, they're going to multiply. How are we going to control that? No. Don't shake your head.
This
No,
is wrong. Stop,
No.
sir. Please stop embarrassing yourself.
You let me talk. I'm a farmer.
Well, I don't give a shit if you're a fucking farmer. The facts don't give a shit if you're a farmer, okay? The fact of reality is this. The study I just mentioned, which is scientific, not a farming study, a scientific study, demonstrates that if the entire planet went fucking vegan, we would kill less crops. Period. Okay? So refute that study or go away. I don't give a shit if you're a farmer. Give me data or go away.
And if you would shut up for a second, I would give you the data. You said we would kill less crops. If the entire planet went vegan, we would have to kill more crops to feed the vegans.
Great. Where's your source on that? Where's your source on that? Where's your source?
And if you shut up and give me a second, I will tell you.
Where's your source?
When we plant soybean, we have to mass kill squirrels, rabbits, deer,
cockroaches, grasshoppers. Yeah.
But
Thank you,
here's
sir.
the problem.
Now, what
when
percent
the
of
cows go
sir?
rampant, we're going to
Sir?
have to kill the cows because
Sir?
they're going to do the same.
What percent of soy is grown for humans? Answer that to me right now. What percent of soy is grown for humans? Go. Tell me. Let's hear it. Come on, sir. Unmute yourself. It's a little microphone button there.
I have no idea. It's the third time it's done it. But it
exactly. The number is 75%.
Of soy
75% of soy is grown for animals, not humans. For animals.
And a chunk of that goes into dog food. Did you know that?
So not for human consumption.
But you're missing the whole roundabout picture.
My point stands,
you
sir.
You can't keep cutting people off. Let me finish what I'm saying, then you speak. That's how a conversation.
No, I can absolutely cut you off. I speak. I can absolutely cut you off. The problem is you're not giving me data. You're not giving me data.
You're not giving me a chance. You keep cutting everybody off.
Give me data or go away.
And you keep cutting us off.
Give me data.
The problem, and you're not listening to the actual main problem I'm trying to tell you. Let's say we stop killing cows, pig, sheep, things that we actually consume as, well, I'm a meat eater, obviously. But here's the thing. Literally, when we grow crops, we have to mass kill anything that is a threat to that crop. Everything. When cows go unchecked, we're going to have to do the same thing
I can't believe, stop talking, sir. I just explained this to you, that meat eaters kill way more crops. Do you agree?
Yeah, because we use it to feed the animals.
So you're killing more fucking animals.
But you're not listening. You're too fucking one-sided. Listen to me for 1 second. If we stop killing cows to eat them, correct? That will become a nuisance to crops. So we still have to build
No, they won't. Sir.
How would they not?
Where do you think
Are you going to mass kill cattle?
Sir, you're a farmer, right? Where do 99% of animals come from that you eat? Where? Do they come from the wild? Do they run around and being a nuisance to crops? No. They come from factories. We breathe them into existence in factories. If we stopped doing this to the animals, they wouldn't just start overpopulating.
Oh,
the numbers would decline.
You think cows and stuff are going to stop having sex because, oh my God, the vegans don't want us to be eaten?
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you, farmers, are breeding these cows into existence. And that is way more than nature can do. So you're causing way more animals to be produced artificially versus nature. Nature does not going to do that. But also,
and what you're telling me is cows aren't going to go out and fuck rampant because we let them. Most bulls are kept in a separate pen, so they can't do that.
Yeah. So number one, I just explained this to you. It's like you don't listen.
That's why we artificially.
Yeah. If you just listen to what I just told you, I explained to you why you're killing way more animals by breeding them into existence. You're causing overpopulation. Vegans want to stop this madness. We're going to say, hey, let's stop producing so many fucking cows. And that those numbers will slowly dwindle as we produce less and less animals. For some reason, you want to maximize the amount of animals dying.
You think that cows won't go out and have sex? Are you crazy? You think pigs won't do it?
Sir, did you listen to anything I just told you? Oh my gosh. I know that cows can reproduce naturally, but you're causing more cows to reproduce artificially. That's the point.
Yeah, but if you don't realize a bull can go out and impregnate a cow 15 times
I understand, sir, but guess what? We can control that. We have contraceptives. We have abilities to control this. Okay.
And we do control that. We eat the fucking cows.
Yeah, but guess
We're
what? That whole process in the first place. Stop. This process in the first place did not have to happen. Again, by eating cows, you're not causing less animals to exist. You're causing more animals to exist. Why? Because we have to breed them into existence. More and more animals have to be bred into existence because you eat them. So eating animals is not solving anything. You're causing more problem. Vegans are minimizing the amount of animals that exist in factories. We're minimizing the amount of animals that are bred into existence. That's the entire point.
But you're not really minimizing anything. We're eating what we're breeding. They're literally being bred for that purpose.
Yeah, and guess what? You keep breeding them into existence every year.
And how is that hurting a vegan?
It's hurting the animals.
Okay, so what you're telling me is us breeding animals to eat, that's somehow worse than y'all mass wiping out squirrel, any kind of rabbit.
Sir, it's like you have it's like you have no fucking IQ points. Did you listen to anything I just told you today?
Yeah, but you have to realize at the same time.
Oh my gosh, I gave you a source. I gave you a source of data that demonstrates you guys are killing more crops and killing more plants and more animals by far. I gave you the source. Now you're being dishonest. Demonstrate to me that vegans kill more than meat eaters. Go. Demonstrate. Give me a source that says that.
Proof that vegans kill. It was scientifically proven back in the early 2000s that everything on this planet is with energy. Everything has a soul and feelings. So if you want to look at that aspect,
really? Where's your source that we have souls? Where's the scientific source that we have souls?
I'm pulling it up.
This is ridiculous, sir. This is embarrassing for you. This is utterly embarrassing. You don't listen to what I said. I gave you sources. You give me jack shit. You're the biased one, not me.
You're literally arguing with 99% of the population because, oh God, we don't want to eat like fucking rabbits. When the world comes to an end, we're going to kill the vegans because that's the closest thing.
This guy's a fucking madman. Get the fuck out of here. It's utterly insane.
Hey, yeah, the main one I wanted to talk about was the God is imaginary part. But if you want to keep it on the vegan part, you can. It's up to you, obviously. It's your life, but
yeah, whatever you want to talk about. What's your best argument?
Yeah, I know the God is imaginary part. So why exactly do you think that God's imaginary?
There's no evidence for it.
There is. There's a multitude of evidence.
Great. Where is it?
Okay. Well, in the Bible, it states that a mountaintop was struck by lightning and that it was charred. It's still charred to this day. There was a rock that was cut in half. That had water come from it, and there's so much around it that shows erosion. On top of that, the universe in itself, in the complexity that it is impossible to exist without having had something that is highly intelligent created. On top of that, the universe...
Okay, stop.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, the Bible's nonsense. The Bible isn't evidence of jack shit. But more importantly, you said there is design because we're so complex. Well, isn't God complex? He has a mind, he has consciousness, he's alive. Isn't that complexity?
That is complex.
Logic, somebody designed God. Who designed God?
No, that is not by my logic at all. By my logic, because I wasn't done talking yet, the universe, like I was saying, is ever expanding. Therefore, it is made out of infinite mass. So it has to come from a highly intelligent being.
Why?
Also that can give infinite mass.
Why?
What do you mean why? Because you can't have the universe and life in itself in the complexity it is without having something highly intelligent.
Why not?
Okay, I'm going to give you this analogy to help you try to understand it, okay? So, think of it as we humans are fish in a fishbowl, okay? Well, these fish in this fishbowl, us, we get food, okay? We are fed. We see a human come in, okay? And we get fed. But to us, we only understand what's going on in this fish tank. We only understand, okay, we get food, we have this area to live in, we're existing here, okay? Those fish have zero idea about where their food comes from. They think, oh, it just falls from the sky. this is really cool. This is fantastic. Well, those fish can't understand what goes on outside because they're simply incapable of it. That human in that situation would be like God to the fish, God to the humans. We can't understand it because God is outside of that fishbowl. He's outside of the time, and he's
Yeah,
outside of our
this is a
understanding
big
of
fat
reality.
cop out. We can't understand it, therefore it's God. That's stupid. This is God of the gaps fallacy. By the way, there could be something beyond God that God's not aware about too. Right? Maybe God's in the fishbowl.
God is all
Maybe God's a
knowing.
fish.
He's not in the
Right?
fishbowl.
It's a stupid argument. I can make this argument for anything I want to. It's dumb. In actuality, we know why we're complex. It's called chemistry and physics. Science that you have not learned yet. Go back to the
No, I
drawing
have
board.
learned. I am
Learn some
extremely
science.
proficient in physics and biology. I have
Great.
a
So
master's on
great.
both of those.
So then you understand that life can be natural, right?
Yes, life is natural, naturally created
Great.
by
So
God.
why do we need God if life can exist naturally without God?
Because life can't exist naturally without God. If you actually look into the human body, the smallest part of our human cells, not cells, sorry, DNA, is in the shape of a cross. And I forget the exact name of it. I can go look and tell you if you want me to.
Laminin is not in the shape of a fucking cross.
It
This
is
is
in the shape
utterly
of a cross.
ridiculous.
When it is
No,
plain
sir.
down,
No.
and it is in its full.
Stop. This is ridiculous. Laminin is not in the shape of a cross, but even if it was, who cares? I'm in the shape of a cross right now. Does that mean God made me? No.
Yes, God made you in his image. Correct.
Prove it.
Okay, he made you in his own image. Allow me to explain that how.
Prove it. Give me evidence.
I will. Jesus, whenever he came back.
Okay.
What was he in?
How old are you?
I'm 18. Why?
Okay. Go.
Okay. Whenever God was coming to us in a way where we could physically see him on the earth, he came back in Jesus. He was a human. That was the human embodiment of God. That was what he was meant to be.
This sounds like a story. This sounds like Marvel on steroids. Give me
Hold
evidence
on,
of this
real
shit.
quick. Chat, by masters, I don't mean master's degree. I mean masters in classes.
Give me evidence of this Marvel comic shit.
There's nothing Marvel anything about this.
Sounds like
I'm telling
Avengers
you.
Infinity War. Like this guy comes into this guy and turns into a bear.
Yeah, Jesus was born. That's how.
Give me evidence.
Okay, well, they found the robe that Jesus wore. They found his tomb with blood where he was laying. They found.
Oh, really? Okay, great. Give me one scientific source where they found the blood of Jesus.
You can just type in where it was found and the picture of it. It's actually on display.
Really? What scientific source is this?
It's a museum. You can see it. You walk in and you see it's the robe. It was the robe that Jesus wore.
Okay, well, I don't give a shit about.
That's already physical evidence.
So just because I have a robe, that means I'm God? No, that's stupid.
No, that's not what you mean. That is the robe that Jesus wore. On top of that, there is chariot parts at the bottom of the Red Sea, which is not possible to be there if Moses wouldn't have split the Red Sea.
There is no evidence that chariots under the sea. That's Ron Wyatt.
There actually is. There's chariot parts.
Where's the source for that? Where's your scientific source?
Do you want me to go Google it real quick so I can tell you it, or do you want me to stay here?
I want a scientific source for this.
Because when I Google it, it's going to mute my mic. So do you want me to go get the source, or do you want me to keep talking?
You have 10 seconds.
Okay, well, that's not going to be long enough for me to type in a full sentence, but okay,
that's not my fault that you didn't do your fucking research, right? This is a bold claim you just made, that you found blood of your God.
Can't accept my research.
And the fact that you have to
No, I did the research. You can't accept the research.
You haven't given the fucking.
And science proves the existence of God and it being itself.
You haven't given me anything to accept or deny.
I've told you, and then you told me you got 10 seconds. Go.
You wasted it.
So
you wasted your 10 seconds, sir.
Because I can't.
Come back when you have the evidence. Nice try, though. Finding blood or a robe, it does not mean you're a god. And no, we didn't find blood of Jesus. That's nonsense. That's a hoax. It's been debunked several times.
Hello.
What do you got?
I would like to say, like, your go vegan statement, that's biblical. So I'm with it.
Yeah, that's nonsense. Do you have an actual argument for us today or no?
Yeah, God is not imaginary.
Prove it.
I could prove it with this scripture. I have it right here in the wait. Where's that? I had it right here.
Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, he made the heavens and the earth. From
No, it's John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Oh, shiver me timbers. Oh, my. That must be true. It's in the book. It's in the book. It must be true. No, that's
But
stupid.
what that really means is
Sir,
in the
just
beginning
because
was
Dr.
sound
Seuss,
energy.
sir, just because somebody says something in a book doesn't make it true, does it?
Well, if God was imaginary, why do you hate him so much?
I don't hate things that don't exist. I don't hate Santa Claus. I just don't see evidence for it. What I do hate is people like, well, not people like you, but the things you do when you use your belief to be bigoted and violent in our society. That's what I hate. I hate ignorance, which is what you're projecting here today.
How am I projecting bigotry and violence by just talking about the Bible?
I mean, we can take a look at Leviticus. Do you think slavery is wrong?
I do believe slavery. There's like two different types of slavery. There's a slavery that's abusive, and there's a slavery where, like, the poor Israelites, they didn't have anywhere to go. They were like homeless and didn't have any money.
Yeah, case closed. You're literally trying to justify slavery. Case closed. This is why violence is embedded in your doctrines. This is why I'm against Christianity. It's a very violent thing.
But you don't truly understand it.
Give me the context where it's okay to beat somebody as property. Go ahead.
It's not. It even says that it's capital punishment.
Then do you condemn what God said in the Bible?
He even his command was even that if you beat your slave to death, you get the capital punishment of the death penalty.
Yeah, but if he survives,
so it's not okay.
Wrong. But if that slave survives that you beat, you get no punishment. How about that? Is that right to you?
Let me go to that right quick.
Yeah. Go read your Bible, sir. It's appalling at what's inside of it. And that's not even the biggest concerns. I mean, the Bible speaks about all kinds of disgusting things in Numbers. Numbers 31, one of the most atrocious things I've seen, and this is God's commands.
What was that?
The saddest part about this is that you haven't even seen what's in the Bible yourself. You have yet to do it. That's just perhaps the saddest part. You're oblivious to it. Hey,
Okay, I just got like a simple question.
How old are you?
If I like
How old are you? How old are you?
Would I have to give up cheese?
Can't listen? Yeah, you're probably 12. Probably an iPad kid. Jesus is king, yeah, king of non-existing. He's the king of being the most distant entity to ever exist from us. He never came back. He never existed. He never rose.
Another day, another victory for the OG.
Prove God's imaginary? Sure. I have a whole host of videos on my YouTube channel. Go check it out, by the way. YouTube, please subscribe. Link in bio.
You're going to ask me how old I am?
No, sir. You sound old enough now. Do you have an argument?
Well, I walked a similar walk as you prior to my becoming born again as an adult at the age of 29. I know Jesus personally, and I have a conversation with him regularly every day.
Oh, really? What does he say to you, sir? Does he speak English or Spanish?
He speaks all languages, bro.
Oh, wow. What does he tell you in English?
Why do you mock God?
Because God mocks me. He says that I'm too dumb to think for myself, so I need to read a Bible. I can't have ethics without your God. That's how mockery of a God yours is. Your God is pathetic because he thinks I'm too dumb to think for myself. And same with you. Your religion's mocking you, but you don't even see it.
I don't have a religion. I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. There's a difference.
Prove it.
I don't have to prove it. It's
okay, great. So you're going to believe and not defend your belief. You're going to just pretend.
I do more than believe. I interact with the Father as a result of Christ's death and resurrection.
How do you interact with the Father?
I speak to him personally. He speaks to me personally.
In your mind?
With my mouth, in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit.
How do you know he responds back to you?
Because I hear him audibly.
Okay, sir. You hear a voice in your head.
I suppose you're telling me that I'm schizophrenic, right?
Well, kind of. But more importantly, I would say that you are experiencing.
That's incredible because you know what?
There's hallucination somewhere, sir. Something wrong here, okay?
Yeah, let me just tell you something. My family were all Freemasons, are all Freemasons.
Yeah, okay. Now I know. Now we get it. Okay. Makes sense now. Oh, man. These people can vote. These people can vote, guys. This is your future, right? This is the society we live in. People like that exist and can vote against your rights. That's why I'm here.
Yo, hello?
Come back when you grow up.
Hello?
Hey, what do you got?
All right, so I just have a question. I remember, or I heard you say earlier that you didn't believe that Jesus existed.
How old are you?
18.
Yeah, I don't care if a Jesus existed, right? I care about a God, right? We're not going to talk about Jesus. We're going to talk about, is there evidence of a God?
Okay. So the evidence of the God was, well, as we Christians believe, was revealed to us through Jesus Christ, who claimed that he was the Word of God, who became flesh.
I mean, fucking Charles Manson claimed to be God too. Is Charles Manson
but Charles
God?
Manson didn't come back from the dead.
Neither did Jesus.
I mean, he did, and
Prove
people
it.
saw it.
Demonstrate it. Demonstrate that he did. Demonstrate it.
Okay, you can't ask. I don't have an answer for that question because you can't demonstrate.
Great. So then you can see you're being dishonest because you would have to have evidence for this shit before you believe it, to be honest.
Okay, here's the problem though. I can ask you prove that Christopher Columbus sailed the seas 500 years ago.
We have thousands of documentation. So we have portraits.
Documentation.
We have all kinds of cross-reference corroborating data that demonstrates he existed. We have no evidence of Jesus. We have no evidence of a God, though.
We have evidence of Jesus Christ, who raised from the dead and claimed to be God.
Where's your evidence that this guy rose from the dead like a zombie?
Okay, I have a question for you.
No, answer my question. Where's the evidence that this guy rose from the dead like a zombie?
I'm going to answer your question. Okay. He rose from the dead, and over a period of 40 days, 500 people...
No, sir, stop. How do you know that he rose from the dead?
Can I answer?
No.
Because the disciples and the people who saw him risen from the dead died for their claim that they saw him risen from the dead.
No, they didn't. They did not die for their belief in Jesus. There's no evidence of this in the Bible at all. But more importantly, who cares if they died for their belief? So did the Mayans with the sun gods. So did the Muslims with Allah. A lot of people die for their beliefs. It doesn't mean
there's a big difference though, because the Muslims died for a belief. The disciples died for something that they believe to have seen.
Muslims
There's a
claim to
big
see
difference
God.
of-
Muslims
No,
claim to say Muslims claim to see the same revelations of Allah as you do.
no, that's not true. It's a really
Yes,
bad
it
analogy.
is.
Because
Muslims claim to be they claim that the Quran is a revelation of God. They claim to experience God.
okay, no, they're dying for an idea. That's what they're doing. The disciples
Yes,
died
an
for
idea
something
that they think is correct because they were
an
revealed.
idea is different for something that you claim to have seen with their own eyes. The disciples were in a unique position to know whether what they were claiming was true or false. And they died for that claim.
No, they didn't. You
They
keep
did.
saying that, but
How can you-
what verse in the Bible says they died because they saw Jesus? Where?
I can give you an outside source.
Where's the verse that says in the Bible, or any verse that says that they died for Jesus because they saw him rise?
Do you know the writings of Tacitus?
Yeah, that's interpolation. That's after the fact, sir. That's not a contemporary account.
Okay. I have a question for you. How could they have written about their claims if they were dead? They wrote about what they saw.
Because nobody wrote about Jesus while he was alive. The Bible, the Gospels come decades after Jesus died. They're stories, sir.
Do you
have
know
a
how
storybook.
historically accurate it is for a document to be 100 years, like within the fact?
It's not
of
very
something
accurate.
that
There are hundreds of contradictions in the Gospels and in the Bible.
Name me one.
Sure. In Mark, it says that Mary didn't see or didn't talk to anybody when she left the tomb. In Matthew, it says she talked to the disciples after she went to the tomb. It's a contradiction.
Okay. Wait. What? Give me the verse, because I know. You don't know. I
believe it's Matthew 16 where it says that Mary talked to the disciples after she saw the tomb, after she went to the tomb. And in Mark, it says she didn't. And there's many more, sir.
In Matthew, it says that. Where?
Matthew, I believe 16.
No, it doesn't say anything about.
Oh my!
No,
yes, it does. You're just denying it, right?
I have it in front of my
says
eyes.
That Mary, sir, Mary. It says that Mary talked to the disciples after she left the tomb. In Mark, it says she didn't. It's that simple.
Where? It's literally. I'm looking at it right now.
Matthew 16. Have you read it?
Yeah. There's no mention of Mary at all.
God, bro, I can't believe I have to do the fucking research for you. I can't believe
it's right in front of my eyes. I don't know what to tell you.
I can't believe this, bro. You don't even know the own contradictions in your fucking book.
I mean, Matthew 16 is in front of my eyes.
Great. Read it. What does it say?
Yeah, it says nothing about Mary.
Yeah, come back later and we'll talk about the fucking contradictions, right?
Okay, but it says nothing about Mary.
Yes, it does. You're just not reading it. That's why. You're not actually looking for it, right? If you actually look for it, it's there. There's
in front of my eyes. There's
contradictions.
no mention of Mary.
Yes, it's there.
Where?
You're just denying it.
No,
Mark
it's just not there.
Look at what's Mark 16 say.
Okay, do you want me to tell you what it says?
Yeah.
The Pharisees demanding signs, the leaven of the Pharisees and Sadducees, Peter confessing Jesus as the Christ, Jesus foretelling his death and resurrection, take up your cross and follow Jesus. That's Matthew 16. Where is a mention of Mary?
Okay. Somebody's saying Mark 16:18.
Mark 16:18?
Yeah, the way I'm set up, I can't look at it right now, and I'm trying to charge up my iPad to find it.
Mark 16:18 is him talking to Peter. What?
Okay, sir, I don't know the exact fucking verse. I have to look for it. Just hold on.
Okay, but I
for
asked for a contradiction.
You're not willing to actually look at the contradictions yourself. They are
I
there,
have,
sir.
and there are no contradictions. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes, there are. There are
Matthew
hundreds of
16.
contradictions in the Bible.
And I asked you to give me one. You didn't give me
Stop.
one.
You believe in a book that talks about talking donkeys and fucking.
Okay, so
talking
now your
snakes.
argument. Okay, so you've shifted your argument.
That's nonsense in the Bible. And yes, don't worry. I will come back with the fucking contradiction for you. Don't worry, sir.
Okay, but when you come back with those
in
contradictions,
the
I'm going to
meantime,
look into the
but
context and I'm going to prove it's not a contradiction. Because that's what you guys do. You take one verse out of context and you say this is a contradiction. You can't do that. That's being intellectually dishonest. You
yeah,
have to
that's
look at
not
the
that's not
context
what I
in which the
said.
verse was
Yeah,
written.
that's not what I fucking said though. I never said that there's something context to it. There obviously is no context.
There's always context.
No.
Oh, so there's not always context.
If somebody says, I went to the store, you went to the store, period.
Why
Right?
did he go to the store?
Just
See
like
the context?
Matthew.
Like even the argument you gave me, there's a reason he went to the store.
That's irrelevant, right? If Mark says I went to the store and then Matthew says I didn't go to the store, that's a contradiction.
Okay, but that's not what this is saying.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
yeah,
so I just read you what Matthew 16 is, and it has nothing to do with that.
Okay, sir. Listen, I'm getting the verse up right now.
Okay, you can go for it.
Don't worry. I can't believe you're not willing to actually look at the contradictions yourself. You're just going, I didn't see it. But I can give you hundreds if you just simply look for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy said Matthew, what? He said Matthew 16:8. Nowhere in that verse is, hello? You asked me, why haven't you looked at the contradictions yourself?
Yeah, why haven't you looked at the contradictions?
I have, and there aren't any, and that's why I'm a Christian.
Great. So if I showed you a contradiction, will you concede that your gospels are unreliable?
If you show me a contradiction,
great.
Okay, if I show you a contradiction, will you concede your gospels are unreliable? Okay, so there's two answers to this question. Number one, they were written by men over time, so there may be some textual variance here and there.
Excuses when there's contradictions. You're not going to actually concede that you're wrong. Wow.
Okay, no, because first of all, you have to show me a contradiction. Like that's the first thing.
I asked you a question, sir. If I show you a contradiction in your gospels, will you concede that your gospels are unreliable? Yes or no?
Sure.
Good. Trying to get my fucking iPad charged because I don't have my setup correct.
All right.
Can't believe I'm fucking doing this shit, bro. I'm doing this for you.
I mean, you said a contradiction, so sure.
Yeah, they're there. I'm looking for them, sir, because you don't fucking know your Bible.
All right, that's fine.
No, it's not fine. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of time because...
If you want to argue something else, let me know.
Nope, I'm getting it right now. I got it right now. Okay. Okay, so in Mark 16:8 it says, and they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. In Matthew 28:8, it says, they departed quickly from the tomb with fear and ran to tell his disciples.
Where's the contradiction?
There it is, the contradiction. Mark 16:8 and Matthew 28:8.
There's no contradiction.
Yes, there is, jackass.
Running to tell
Mark
someone
16,
something.
it says they said nothing to anyone. And in Matthew 28, it says that they ran to tell the disciples.
Yeah, that's not a contradiction. If I'm running to tell someone something,
bro?
I haven't told them that yet.
Stop. This is ridiculous. In Mark 16, it says that they said nothing to anyone. And in Matthew, it says that they ran to tell the disciples.
Okay. Yeah. If I run to tell someone something, have I told that someone something? Or am I running to tell someone something?
What are you talking about?
I don't know how much clearer I can be. Running to tell someone something means you have not told them yet. So you haven't told anyone. If I'm running to tell my mother that I failed the test,
yeah, and Mark,
I haven't told my mother that I failed the test.
If you actually read the fucking verse, like I told you, it says that after she ran from the tomb in both times, in Mark 16, she ran from the tomb and didn't tell anybody. And in Matthew, she ran from the tomb and told the disciples.
Yeah, that's another thing. These people are, This is another thing I was going to say.
No.
Okay, I'll grant that. Okay.
Stop and read. Stop and read. You know the verses I told you?
Go.
Wow. See? You don't even know the fucking verses I told you.
I'm telling you to talk. Matthew 28:8 and Mark 16:8. I'm telling you to talk. Go.
Great. Read the verse.
Yeah. And ran to tell his disciples.
In Mark 16, it says they ran and told nobody. In Matthew, it says they ran and told the disciples.
Yeah. If I run...
Contradiction. That's a contradiction.
Okay. Again, I'm going to bring up this verse. If I tell someone, I haven't told anyone I failed on my test, and then I say, I ran to tell my mom, where's the contradiction?
That's not what this verse says. The
That's
verse
exactly
is clear.
what it's saying.
No, it's not. The verse is clear. The verse says that after they went out and fled the tomb, they said nothing to anyone. They were afraid. And then in Matthew, it says they ran from the tomb to tell his disciples.
There's no contradiction. They didn't tell anyone anything near the tomb, but running to tell the disciples.
No, that's where you're wrong, right? In Matthew, how? I can't believe this, bro. You're so fucking dishonest.
Really? Look, that's really ironic.
Really. In Mark, it says that she ran and told nobody. In Matthew, it says that she told the disciples. That's a that's a clear contradiction.
No, it doesn't say she told the disciples. It says she ran to tell the disciples. There's a big difference.
Yes. And in Mark, it says she told nobody after she fled the tomb.
Yeah, she told nobody after she fled the tomb.
Sir, oh my God. Listen, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. In Matthew, it says that she ran to tell the disciples.
Ran to tell the
disciples. And in Mark, it says that they said nothing to anyone.
Yeah. I don't see what the contradiction is here. I really don't.
The contradiction is that she left the tomb and she told nobody, and then in the other verse, she ran from the tomb and told somebody.
No, she didn't tell someone. She ran to tell someone.
Yeah, and that didn't happen in Mark.
In Mark, it doesn't say if they were running to tell someone. It just says they didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, they didn't tell anybody, and then in Mark, they did tell somebody. There's a contradiction.
No, in Mark, they ran to tell someone.
Yes, there's a contradiction there, sir.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I don't see the contradiction. We're just gonna be arguing back and forth.
If I run to tell somebody about missing, if I run to tell somebody, right, and then I run and tell nobody, that's a contradiction, right? There's two different scenarios.
Wait, say it again.
If I ran and told somebody, and then another scenario, I ran and tell nobody, that's a contradiction, right?
Yeah, but if you run to tell someone something...
That's what exactly happened in this verse.
Yo, can I speak, bro? Please? Okay, if you run to tell someone something, and if I say, I ran to tell my mom I failed my test, and I say, I didn't tell anyone I failed my test, where's the contradiction?
Because she told nobody even after she left the tomb.
What?
Yeah, if you actually read the fucking verse, She left the tomb both times and told, in one she told somebody, and the other she told nobody.
Wait, say that again. She ran and told someone.
God, bro,
No,
this
it doesn't
is so
say that.
fucking ridiculous, bro.
It just doesn't say that. I don't know what to tell you.
See, look, if you just read the fucking verse, you would understand what I'm telling you.
Which one, Matthew or Mark?
Both, bro. Fucking both. In Matthew, it says that she fucking told nobody. In Mark, hold on, I fucking lost it. Okay. In Matthew, it says that she left the tomb and ran to tell the disciples. In Mark, it says she ran from the tomb and then said nothing. Contradiction.
Okay.
Contradiction.
All right. So Matthew or Mark, this is Mark. Mark says, and they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. Here it's referring to when they fled the tomb. After they fled the tomb, they said nothing to anyone.
Correct.
So they didn't tell anyone anything after they had fled the tomb.
Correct.
In Matthew, it says after they departed from the tomb, they ran to tell the disciples after they departed from the tomb.
Correct.
Mark
There's
is just
a contradiction.
Thank
you. You just conceded to a contradiction. Because after both times they left the tomb, they told one, and one they told somebody, and the other they said nothing to nobody. That's a contradiction.
Oh yeah. Also, just a really, really interesting thing here. If you were to read literally one verse before in Mark chapter 16, verse 7, it's told to go tell his disciples. So.
Yeah, but they didn't. But in the verse next, it says she told nobody.
Yeah. Okay. She was told to tell the disciples.
Yeah.
She said, "I saw."
Yeah. In the verse, it says that she said nothing, and then
fled from the tomb.
Sir, this is so fucking embarrassing for you.
She said nothing at the tomb. Nothing was said.
She said nothing
the tomb.
after the tomb. After they fled.
No, it says nothing at the tomb.
It says that. Oh my gosh, bro! Read the fucking verse. This is the
I'm
last
reading
time. This is the last time I'm going to do this for you.
I'm reading it.
In Mark 16, it says, and they went out and fled from the tomb.
Yeah.
And then they said nothing to anyone.
No, it doesn't say then they said nothing to anyone. It says and they said nothing to anyone.
Okay. And they said nothing to nobody. In Matthew 28, it says, they departed from the tomb and they ran to tell somebody.
Yeah, there's literally no contradiction.
How is there no contradiction, bro?
Running to tell someone, fleeing from a tomb and running to tell someone.
Oh my God,
there's no contradiction between telling no one at the tomb.
This is so embarrassing, bro. I just explained to you that in both times they left the tomb. In one, they told somebody. In the other, they said nothing to nobody. That's a contradiction.
No. They didn't tell someone at the tomb.
I know, exactly. They said it after the tomb.
Yeah, they went to tell someone after the tomb.
Yeah, and then the other verse, they said nothing to anybody.
In Mark, they said nothing to anyone at the tomb.
No, after they fled from the tomb.
No. It says they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. They said nothing to anyone at the tomb.
No, they fled from the tomb. They're not in the tomb.
They fled from the tomb and they said nothing to anyone at the tomb.
Yes.
I failed my test and I didn't tell anyone at school.
No, stop.
Does that mean I didn't tell anyone at all?
This is embarrassing, bro. Oh, I can't believe I have to do this again for you, bro.
You don't know what a contradiction is, man.
Stop. After they fled the tomb, they said nothing to anybody. And in Matthew, it says, after they left the tomb, they told the disciples. That's a contradiction.
No, it doesn't say they told the disciples. It says they ran to tell the disciples outside of the tomb.
Yes, and in both, they were outside the tomb.
In Mark, it's referring to they told nobody inside of the tomb.
Yeah, and in the same thing Matthew, but after they fled
in Matthew, they were saying they ran to tell someone outside of the tomb.
Sir, in both, we're talking about after the tomb. In both situations, In Matthew, it says she told somebody after the tomb. In Mark, it says they said nothing to nobody.
No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say in Matthew they told someone after the tomb. It says in Matthew they ran to tell someone after the tomb.
Yes, and in both circumstances, they were outside of the tomb. That's the point.
Okay. If I walk outside of my school and I said I didn't tell anyone anything inside of my school, am I saying I didn't tell anyone anything at all, or I'm never going to tell anyone anything?
That's not analogous, sir. That's not analogous, because we know in both of these situations, they're both outside of the tomb. In one, she told somebody, the other, she didn't.
It's
contradiction.
No, she didn't tell anyone. She ran to tell someone.
Yeah. And in the other one, she didn't run to tell anybody.
In the other one, it's saying, in Mark, it's saying she didn't tell anyone inside of the tomb.
Yeah, but we're not talking inside the, we're talking about outside of the tomb, after they fled the tomb.
Yeah, and outside, it's referring to what happened inside. Or it's not saying
it's not. Now you're being dishonest. Okay, now you're being dishonest.
How?
This is ridiculous. Let me, one more time, before I fucking kick your ass. In Mark 16, it says they went out, they fled from the tomb, and then they said nothing to anyone.
It doesn't say, and then they said nothing.
It says that they left the tomb, and then they ran to tell the disciples.
Yeah, there's no contradiction. Like, you read it, and I listened. There's no contradiction.
In one, they said something to somebody. In the other, they said nothing to nobody.
No, in one, they didn't say something to someone. They ran to tell someone something.
In the other one, they didn't run to tell anybody nothing. That's a contradiction.
It doesn't say that they didn't.
That's a contradiction.
Show me where in Matthew it says that they didn't run to tell someone something.
Matthew 28:8.
No, in Mark. Tell me
Mark 16:8. It says they said nothing to anyone. They were afraid.
Yeah, awesome. Now go one verse before and tell me what it says.
What does it say?
But go tell his disciples and Peter. So
yeah,
it's saying go tell his disciples.
But they were too afraid to tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. What? That's the opposite of what happens in Matthew.
In Mark 16:7, it says, but go tell his disciples.
We're not doing this again, bro. In Mark 16:8, it says they said nothing to anybody. And in Matthew, it says they did.
In Mark 16:8, wait. Yeah, can you go to Mark 16:10? Just wondering. Just out of curiosity. Because we've been arguing about 8. Let's go to 10.
Wait, what does it say?
It says she went and told those who had been with him.
In Mark?
Yeah, in Mark 16:10, literally 2 verses after.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
Go for it.
What does it say? What's the verse actually say?
She went and told those who had been with him as they mourned and wept.
She went and told them that had been with them, and they mourned and wept. Told who? What did she tell them?
Really? Who are the people who had been with them?
Not the disciples.
Really? Okay, can we be serious?
Not the disciples. Disciples weren't there.
Can we be serious?
Yeah, they were not there in the fucking tomb. They were not there in the tomb. That's why they ran to tell the disciples. And who did she tell? Who did she say in this verse? Who did she talk to?
She went and told those who had been with him.
In the tomb, not the disciples.
You're not being serious. You're telling me about intellectually. You're telling me about intellectual dishonesty.
The disciples were not. The disciples were not in the tomb, were they?
Really? You really?
Sir, were the disciples in the tomb?
Okay. So let's read from
Yes or no.
Yo, can you let me read?
Were the disciples in the tomb?
Can you let me read?
Yes or no?
We're not about to do this. I'm gonna read from verse 7 all the way to verse 10. But go tell his disciples and Peter that he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him just as he told you. And they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. Now, when he rose early on in the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, from whom he had cast out 7 demons. She went and told those who had been with him as they mourned and wept. But when they heard that he was alive and had been seen by her, they would not believe it. Any third grader you show this to could tell you that she's talking about the disciples.
Yeah, even though there's no mention of disciples in that verse.
Dude, come on, really?
There's no mention of them in that verse. You're just assuming
absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Well, that's not what I'm saying, jackass. What I'm saying is that there are no disciples in that fucking verse. So you can't make that claim.
So you're saying that because the disciples weren't mentioned by name, you can't say those were the disciples?
Exactly. You can't say that
that's being dishonest. You can't. if that's how you're going to argue, then I just can't argue.
Guess what? In Matthew 28, it says that they found there was an angel that she saw in the tomb. And in Luke 24:4, it says they found 2 men standing there. In Mark 16:5, it says 1 man sitting there in the tomb. So there's another contradiction.
Okay,
there's another contradiction.
So you said Mark. Let me get the verses.
Mark 16:5. It says they entered the tomb. They saw a young man.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Luke 24:4, it says, "Behold, 2 men were sitting there."
Okay, Luke 24.
This is another contradiction. We got many more. By the way, we have many more of these contradictions, not only in the Gospels, but in the Bible.
Okay, what was the other one?
Mark 16:5 and Luke 24:4.
You said another one, though.
Matthew 28:2. In 2 of them, it says there is in 1 says there is an angel. In Mark, it says there was a man. In Luke, it says there was 2 men. And in John, it says there were 2 angels.
Luke 24:4 and Mark 16:5.
These are obvious contradictions. These are obvious contradictions. Obvious contradictions.
Okay, hold on.
Everybody, please subscribe to my YouTube. Link in bio. All my debates there. Any excuses yet?
I'm looking at the verses right now.
Okay, I'll give you another 15 seconds to come up with an excuse, or we got to switch to the next guest.
Okay, I have an answer that's satisfactory for me, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be satisfactory for you. So in Mark, I believe that there were 2 angels. That's my belief.
Okay, well, according to Mark, you're wrong.
Yeah, so Mark only takes note of 1, right? My belief, this is what I believe. Reading the verses.
Do you concede that there's a contradiction in the Gospels then?
Okay, no, can I explain?
No, do you concede that there's a contradiction in the Gospels?
But can I explain?
No. Yes
Okay,
or no? Is there a contradiction? Yes or no? Is there a contradiction here?
I don't believe there's a contradiction. And can I explain now?
Wow.
Can I explain or no?
Explain.
Okay. Mark only takes note of 1 of the angels. I believe that this is because only 1 of the angels actually spoke, and this is the one that Mark notes.
Wow. So that's a bullshit excuse you just made. And by the way, Mark doesn't say angels. It says 1 young man.
An angel is commonly seen as a young man. I don't see, if that's your problem, really?
Well, it says one young man, and then it says in John 2 angels, and then it says in Luke 2 men.
Angels can appear as young men.
One angel.
Angels can appear as young men.
Oh, really? Okay, great. Well, there's still a contradiction when it comes to, even if we're to see that, you're still wrong in the number of the things they see. Because it says they only saw one in Mark and then in 2 in Luke.
No, because Mark wasn't an eye from Peter. And Peter may have only mentioned the angel who spoke.
There's still a contradiction here, sir. You still have, that's not explained the contradiction.
No,
this is a big fat reach you're doing.
I just explained it.
Then why does it say in Mark there's only one man standing there, and then in Luke it says there's 2 men standing there?
I just explained it. Because Mark wasn't an actual eyewitness. He received a testimony, likely from Peter, and Peter may have mentioned that there was only one angel who spoke.
Oh, so Mark's not an eyewitness account, like he said in the first place. Okay. So do you agree that the Gospels are unreliable because they're not eyewitness accounts?
No, because Mark wasn't an eyewitness of that specific event.
So do you think that Mark's account is unreliable because it's not an actual eyewitness?
No, it's not unreliable. If my friend comes and tells me something, and then I tell that to someone else, that's not an unreliable account.
Well, there's a clear contradiction here that you have yet to explain, right?
Again, I explained it, and that's satisfactory for me as a believer. I explained it. If you don't believe it, then I can understand. I understand.
But there's still a contradiction here. You still did not explain why the verses are different. And by the way,
I explained why the verses are different.
By the way, Matthew says one angel too. It's not just Mark.
Yeah, I explained that. And I told you that that was enough for me as a believer, but I can understand how you as a non-believer.
Yeah, this is dumb, right? This is stupid. That it's enough for you is not right for me.
At the end of the day, we're arguing over literal semantics. Like if it was 1 or 2, it doesn't make a difference to the story.
No. We're not arguing semantics here. You have yet to explain why Matthew talks about one angel, but Luke talks about 2. Forget about Mark.
I did. Because Mark is an actual eyewitness of that event.
Why does Matthew talk about one angel?
Mark and Matthew were not actual eyewitnesses of the event.
Oh, so now Matthew and Mark are not eyewitnesses. So which one's the eyewitness?
Event.
So which one's the eyewitness?
Peter. They received that likely.
If they received it for the same person, why are there 4 different accounts?
There aren't 4 different accounts.
Yes, there are. There's 4 Gospels: Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. Why are there 4 accounts if it's coming from one person?
Wait, what are you talking about? The entire Gospels?
Yes, we're talking about the Gospels here, sir. Why are there 4 different accounts if it's coming from one Peter?
Are you saying that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all come from Peter?
That's what you're trying to say.
No, I said that this specific event was told to them by Peter.
Okay, then why is it all? Why are there all different? Why are there 4 different explanations of it if it's coming from the same one account?
Why are there 4 different explanations?
Why are there 4 different scenarios here when it's coming from the same account?
Okay, you gave me 2. You gave me one where there was told that there were 2 and where there was 1.
Oh my gosh, bro. This is so embarrassing for you. In Matthew, it says 1 angel. In Mark, it says a young man. In Luke, it says 2 men. And in John, it says 2 angels. How can there be 4 different accounts with?
Because angels appear as men. There's no.
What?
The angels appear as men.
Doesn't matter. There's still different numbers of people that are witnessed according to the Gospels.
Okay, and then I just explained to you why the numbers are there.
Why? Why are the numbers different if it's coming from the same fucking account?
They received it. The 2 people who weren't there received it from Peter. Not all of the disciples witnessed everything all at the same time, all of them together. That's not how they work.
Oh my gosh, sure. You're not answering directly, right? Why is it that there are 4 different accounts of the Gospels if it's coming from the same person? Why?
Okay, so I just explained. Mark was not a direct eyewitness of this event. Peter was, and he likely received his testimony.
Okay, was John an eyewitness here?
Of the tomb?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yes.
Okay. Was Luke an eyewitness?
No.
Was Mark an eyewitness or Matthew?
No.
Okay.
No.
So the only eyewitness was John.
Peter and John.
Peter and John. Okay. And Peter said what? How many people were there?
Peter probably only mentioned the one angel that spoke.
And John said 2.
Yeah, there were 2 angels, but one of them spoke.
That's not what the verse says.
How?
Because it says they both said to her, "Why are you weeping?"
Which verse?
John 20:11.
All right. All right, I concede.
All right. Well, I appreciate your fucking honesty. I really do. But yeah,
I can't explain that one. I'm going to be honest, but
yeah,
I'm
there's
still
a lot.
Yeah,
Look,
I'm still new to the faith. I'm still
No, of course, no. Look,
But-
dude, you are a very smart person. I can tell, and I want you to continue learning. I want you to continue reading your Bible. I want you to continue asking questions. That is going to make you a better person, no matter what you believe. So I really want you to continue doing what you're doing. Okay.
All right.
All right. Have a good day.
All right.
Hey guys, I think I'm done. Wait, we have one more person. Autumn, I think she's a troll, to be honest. Hey, what do you got?
Hey,
What do you got for us?
can you hear me?
Yep.
I just want to ask, why don't you believe?
There's no evidence for God to me.
Okay. So God is imaginary, go vegan? So why vegan?
Okay, how old are you?
I am 19.
Okay, yeah, I'm vegan. I'm vegan because I care about life. I enjoy life. I enjoy people. I enjoy animals, and I don't want to harm them. I want to minimize the amount of harm I cause to them. That's why I'm vegan, because I love life. And I don't want to take it away from others.
Okay, so I believe in the Bible it says that God created a dominion, and it explains that the reason why he created the animals was for humankind, because the dominion is part of what he created for us.
Okay, does the Bible say you have to eat animals?
It doesn't say you have to, no. But it doesn't...
So okay, great. So you don't have to. Do you recognize that animals suffer and die when you eat them?
Yes.
Great. So if you don't have to cause suffering to the animals, then why do you do it?
I don't think that you have to do it. I just think that it's not a sin to do it.
Okay. But do you think it's wrong to harm somebody that doesn't have to be harmed?
Yes, somebody as in yes, any type of harm that's
Okay.
not doing good to anything is wrong. Yes.
Great. So do you recognize that pigs and cows are not harming anybody? They're just innocent?
Yes. They're
Great.
not harming anybody.
So wouldn't you
They're
think it's
there-
wrong to harm? So wouldn't you think it's wouldn't you think it's wrong to harm a pig if it's being abused?
If it was, would I think it's wrong to harm a pig if it was being abused?
Yeah, for food, yeah.
If it was used for food, I don't think it was wrong to kill it.
Okay, great. So you think it's perfectly fine for me to, how about a dog, right? If I were to eat a dog for food, would that be okay to you?
If it was your only option.
What if it wasn't my only option?
Then no, it wouldn't be okay to me personally.
Great. So you think it's wrong to eat a dog when you don't have to, but you think it's okay to eat a pig when you don't have to. So there's a contradiction here.
Okay.
What's the difference between a pig and a cow? Pig and a dog?
Because I just think that a pig is meant for food.
Why? What about a pig tells you it's meant for food?
Just my beliefs in the Bible as a Christian, I just think that it explains very clearly that the animals that God created were meant to bring us life, meaning energy, meaning us eating the animals, bringing us energy.
The funny thing about that is that there's actually no verse that says that, and more importantly, there are many Adventists who are vegan because of the Bible. They think the Bible's saying that they should be vegan. There's an entire culture of people who are vegan because of the Bible. So it's funny how people have different perspectives on what it says. But look, the point here is you have not demonstrated that there is some reason or obvious reason as to why we have to or should kill these pigs. We don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
Right. So if God is not ordaining this, why do you do it if you know it causes them harm that doesn't have to be caused in the first place?
I don't think you should cause any type of harm if it's
So why do you do it? So then why do you do it?
If you need to eat.
But what if you can eat something else like a plant-based food?
Then eat a plant-based food. That's your choice. But I just think that you shouldn't.
Great. So what's the better choice? What is the better choice? To eat plants without pain and suffering, or to eat a pig that is being gassed to death in a gas chamber? What's more better for you?
I guess if you really think about the better choice, you have to really think about the person personally, if it's better for their health, because there's honestly different health problems out there that some would benefit off of being vegan, some would benefit off of not being vegan. You really have to think.
What if I told you that everybody can be vegan because veganism is not a diet, right? It's an ethical stance. You can still be vegan by minimizing your harm to the animals. Do you agree?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
You can still be vegan, right? If you have to, for some medical reason, eat animal products. But the point is that you can still be healthy as a vegan without.
Yeah, you can be healthy as a vegan.
Great. So why do you kill and slaughter animals if you don't have to?
Because that's just what I don't think it's wrong to kill and slaughter animals if you're doing it for food. It's just that some people do see that as wrong, and I would understand.
No,
but
I'm talking about you, man. Look,
wrong.
man, we're talking about you, right? Why do you think it's okay to slaughter pigs but not dogs?
Because you're going to eat the pig, you're probably not going to slaughter a dog and eat it.
I know, but I'm asking you why? Why do you have this special treatment for dogs but not for pigs? What's the difference between those two animals?
Because I've been studying the Bible, and honestly, before I studied the Bible, I thought it was wrong because
the Bible's nonsense, right? Forget the fucking Bible.
I thought that it was nonsense.
Look, just use your brain for a second, right? Really think about this. Put on your thinking cap.
Okay.
What really is the difference between a pig and a dog? What really is the difference there? What's the morally relevant difference?
Well, I have a dog, and a dog brings me compassion and joy, and it's just like more of a companion. And a pig would be grown and raised specifically for food, and it's not in vain because you're eating it and it's giving you life.
Okay, so what if we? So first of all, pigs can be compassionate. In fact, more compassionate than dogs. But what if we bred dogs into existence so that we can farm them and eat them? Would that be okay now? To eat the dog?
But that comes down to my beliefs in the Bible that dogs aren't bred. It's just all down to my beliefs.
The Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says you can slaughter goats and shit. Like,
yeah, goats and stuff.
We're talking about why do you think it's bad to kill a dog for food, but it's perfectly okay to kill a pig for food? We're not talking about the Bible. Put the Bible aside for a second. Really put your thinking cap on here.
Okay, even if we put the Bible aside, anything out of vain is bad. So if you kill anything and it's not in vain, that can't be considered as bad because you didn't let that meat go to waste. It's not in vain. Everything is about sacrifice, okay? That's life. Things
No, it's
happen,
not about
things get
sacrifice.
hurt.
That's a twisted Christian view of reality,
And
which is
it's not
fucked up.
like I'm
It's not about
killing this
sacrifice.
animal.
It's not, ma'am.
Okay.
It's not about sacrifice. Nothing
Okay.
has to be sacrificed here. We can just eat plants without killing the fucking animals. Why? Why do you kill and harm the animals? Why?
I don't kill and harm the animals, but I do eat the animals. And I eat them because
Oh
they
my
were
God.
already killed.
So I didn't kill and harm him. I just ate him. You are harming people. You are harming pigs by eating their fucking body parts. You're torturing them. You're paying for their bodies to be tortured for you. That's harm.
But they weren't tortured.
99% of animals in factories are abused.
And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the factories. I don't believe in the factories, and I don't believe in the way that they're treating the animals.
Great. So you're against factory farming. Great.
Yes,
I
am.
So you only get your meat from what?
Well, I
Grass-fed
try to
places?
get it from, like, the eggs that I get, they're from my friend. She grows, or she has chickens.
How about the meat you buy? How about the meat you eat? Is that from those animals that are on land?
Yes, I get I
Okay,
don't
good.
believe in the factories and the farms.
Are those
that are
animals still
harmful.
dying?
Yes, they are.
Do
but
they
they're
have to
not
die?
dying in
Do they have to
vain.
die for you?
They don't. I mean, they don't have to die for me. No.
Great. So you're still killing animals when they don't have to die for you. You're still
The animals are
killing them
gonna
for no
die.
reason.
The animals are gonna die.
So are you. Does that justify murder?
No,
Oh, great. Then why does it justify killing cows that can live
because
peaceful lives
you're
without you?
using these animals that were created by our creator for your life, because this is our dominion.
Okay. If tomorrow we found out that God doesn't exist, if tomorrow we found out God's not real, would that be okay to just, would you think it's okay to just kill dogs and kill pigs?
If I found out that God wasn't real tomorrow, I wouldn't kill dogs and I wouldn't kill pigs. But I believe that God is real.
Great. So then you recognize that whether or not God exists, you still think it's wrong.
No, it's not that I think it's wrong. It's that I wouldn't kill pigs and I wouldn't kill dogs either way. I would still eat the meat, even if I found out God was. I know he's real, but if I found out God wasn't real tomorrow, I would still eat the meat. I wouldn't. I don't go around killing animals.
What justifies eating an animal, ma'am? What justifies doing that when you know you don't have to? Why would you cause that animal pain and suffering and death? Why?
Because I don't cause them suffering. Death, yes.
Okay. Do you pay for your?
Yes.
Do you eat meat?
Yes.
Yeah, you're killing that animal, right? That animal has to die for you. You're killing it.
Killing, yes.
Great.
It's not suffering.
So you're killing these animals when they don't have to die. Why?
They're gonna die. They're gonna die. Either way, they're gonna die of. They're gonna get eaten by another. Do you know? There's natural selection. There's predators. These animals.
I know, ma'am. I know they're gonna
Another
die, but
animal
so
would
are
eat
you. You're also gonna die. Does that justify murdering you for food?
No, because no.
No, exactly. So whether or not you die, it doesn't matter. You're still killing an animal. You're taking its life, cutting it short.
But I'm not going to murder somebody. But I'm not going to. If I were to murder an animal, it would still be bad. If I were to just murder them, you're saying if I were to murder, you're using that. You're using that as ammunition, but you can't use that as ammunition because it doesn't line up. You're saying if I were to murder someone, that's bad. Yes, but if I were to murder a pig, that would still be bad if I wasn't using it for something.
There is no reason for you to eat a cow or a pig or a chicken. There's no reason for that.
Protein, food, energy.
Yeah, but you can eat that. You can get that from plants.
Okay, I can get that from plants, but it's here on the earth for us to eat.
I can also eat people. They're also here for me to eat. Does that justify being a cannibal?
This animal is gonna die out in the wilderness. There's other predators. We're not the only predator for this animal.
Does that justify just going around and killing any animal you want to because they're gonna die anyway? No.
Okay,
Animals.
what justifies anything?
You have to have reasons for things, ma'am. You have no reason.
Okay, what justifies your reasons?
I don't want to harm animals. I want to eat plants
and what
and not cause
justifies your
suffering.
beliefs?
The fact of reality that plants don't feel pain, but animals do.
Okay, but I know that you don't believe in God, but can you tell me who the creator of this earth is?
There is no creator of the
Then
earth.
how did the earth come to be?
The earth is a big fucking rock. It's
okay, how did it come to be?
I'm explaining it to you, ma'am. The earth is a big fucking rock, and the solar system was produced by a nebula cloud that collapsed. And it forms a disk because gravity collapses things in that way, and angular momentum takes a hold on it, forms a disk. Mass assembles in the center of it, forms a protostar. That protostar releases shockwaves outwards.
How did that happen?
Hold on. Let me explain.
Okay, but
That star pushes stuff outwards. The colder material forms a disk on the outside, turns into fragments, precipitates into fragments. These fragments then collide with each other to form planetesimals and then planets. That's how we got here. And what causes this? Physics. Physics. Gravity. Physics. That's it.
Okay, but how did gravity come to be? There has to be a creator for anything.
Okay, great. Then who created God?
God is God. God is...
Okay, then I could say gravity is gravity.
No, but God is the creator.
But
God created gravity.
But if nobody created God, then why do you need a creator for the universe?
God created the universe.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to try this one more time for you, okay?
Okay.
You're saying God created the universe. I'm saying, no, the universe could be here forever. Why do you insist that there has to be a creator for the universe?
Because it lines up, and there's stories in my life, there's testaments that I've been through. God has shown up. I just believe in God.
Okay, where did God show up? Where did God show up in your life?
Several times. I've tried to kill myself. I mean, there's just been too many times to count that God has just been there. Stories, things that, where does your morality come from? If you really just think down to a creator who created everything, all the stories line up, artifacts. What is it? Noah's Ark. There's artifacts from that. Everything.
No, there is no fucking Noah's Ark. Kangaroos didn't jump onto Australia. They didn't swim all the way to Australia. How did the fucking penguins get to fucking Antarctica? They didn't swim thousands of miles.
Found the articles. Did you know that they found Noah's Ark?
Where, Kentucky?
Do you want to go ahead and Google it?
I have, ma'am. They didn't find jack shit. They found a fucking rock that looks like a fucking boat.
Okay, well, I believe that they found Noah's Ark.
I don't give a shit what you believe. I want evidence of God. And so far, you've done nothing to provide it for us.
There is evidence. If you just...
Where?
There doesn't need to be evidence, but there is evidence. There doesn't need to be evidence. God is faith. God is morality.
Okay. Then I have faith that there's no God, and I win. Yay! There's no God. I have faith.
How do you explain that God isn't real? Like, what are your arguments?
I have faith in it. Like, just as you use faith for God, I can use it against you.
So you think gravity just came to be and everything just came to be without a creator?
No, I think it could have always existed. You think it came to be.
How does it exist? Like, how did it come to exist?
It didn't come to exist, but you think the universe did with the magic wizard who literally existed forever, and one day he randomly made a... Listen, you think one day this magic wizard got bored, and he said, you know what? Let me make some people and a planet. And he waved his magic wand, he said, whoa, let there be light. And poof. The entire universe, trillions of galaxies and stars and countless things out there, just poofed into existence in 6 days. And then he made a man build a boat with all the fucking animals on it. And they all swam across the entire oceans, landed on a fucking mountaintop, and the penguins flew all the way to Antarctica. And the kangaroos jumped all the way to fucking Australia. That's what you believe, man. You believe in fairy tales.
Yes. Fairy tales, if you want. It's not a fairy tale, but that's what I believe.
Well, it sounds like one, ma'am. It sounds like Marvel on steroids.
Okay, you believe that it was always here. How is that not more logical?
You believe God was always there. What's the difference?
Because God is a energy. God is love. God, you have emotions.
Oh, God is
How do you
love.
explain
Was
your
he loving
emotions?
when he
How do you
flooded the
explain your
planet?
emotions? By science? You explain your emotions by science? You explain love by science?
Yeah,
Like chemicals
oxytocin,
in your
dopamine.
brains? Okay,
Yes.
but where does your morality come from? How do you love these animals so much? By science?
No, it's called having empathy in a brain, able
Okay,
to
where did
understand
that
the
empathy
consequence.
come
Hold
from?
on. You said, where does morality come from? I'm explaining it to you. Morality comes from the brain, the limbic system, the logical prefrontal cortex, which allows us to observe our surroundings, evaluate the actions that we place onto others, see how they behave and respond, and then we respond to fix it, to make it a better situation for us.
And
That's
that
how
just
morality
all
works.
magically
We
came
gave
to be, huh?
what?
Without anybody morphing that together, we all just came to be. There's humans, there's dogs, there's nobody
No,
to create that.
it's called physics.
Gravity
It's
just pushed
called
it together.
physics, ma'am.
Gravity pushed
I
us all together. Gravity pushed our one big happy
yes,
family together.
gravity is one of the
Did that.
biggest forces of our existence. Gravity, yes.
So gravity made your family. Gravity somehow binds all these
That's just
molecules.
one, ma'am.
But
That's
that's
just
not
one aspect
more
of physics,
logical
ma'am.
to think that.
Ma'am, this is why you're Christian, because you keep yapping. Listen.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Gravity is not the only force of nature. We have chemistry, we have physics, we have biology, all describe how we evolved over time. And what is not described by physics is magic wizards making us from clay. That never exists in science. We know for a fact that we evolved. That's a fact. Get over it.
Science can explain everything, yes.
No. Science may not be able to explain everything, but religion can explain nothing.
Yes, it can. I disagree there.
You pretend to have an explanation. That's the best you got, though.
I don't pretend to have.
Then demonstrate that there's a God.
Explanation.
Then demonstrate that there's a God.
Demonstrate that there's a God. Okay, me, you. There's my demonstration.
We can explain that with evolution.
No, okay, but I think that's more illogical to think that it just all magically came to be.
That's a strong man. That's not what I believe. That's what you believe. Again, you believe in magic. You believe a guy that was born of a virgin.
It's really you believing in magic and I believing in a creator.
There does not need to be a creator at all. The universe could have always existed, and there's a cosmic evolution unfolding.
Nothing can just exist. A chicken doesn't come with an egg. Doesn't come without a chicken.
Then how did God just exist?
God, I'm telling you, God is God. He created it.
So why can't we just say the universe always was?
He is love.
Okay.
I just want you to believe because I want you
stop babbling,
because
please.
I care about
you. Listen.
Okay.
Why can't the universe have always existed, but you get to say God did? Why?
Because the universe couldn't have always existed because God created it.
That's question begging, ma'am. I'm asking you, how do you know the universe can't be eternal?
The universe is eternal. But God, you don't understand. God is eternal.
Oh man, I don't know how to.
You're not asking the right question. The universe is eternal. God is eternal.
You're not asking the right question.
Time doesn't exist on God's frame.
Oh, so how does God create something without time to create it in?
Okay, look, picture it like this. God can see time at all points. He can see the past, the present, and the future at all points. It's not going to make sense in your head because nothing is going to make sense until you get to the realms of heaven. And it can't make sense. It's called faith.
Right. Doesn't make sense, okay, but I still believe it, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's called faith.
So it doesn't make sense to you. You can see that it doesn't make sense to you.
You have morality.
But you still believe it.
I study the Bible, and what I'm studying makes sense.
Super me timbers. She studied the Bible.
Yeah, I'm saying. I'm not saying that as like, oh, I'm studying the Bible. Oh my God. I'm saying what I'm studying so far has made sense, and everything lines up.
To you, because you don't understand science. Of course, it makes sense to you. You don't know jack about science, but to people who are educated, we understand that what you believe in is hogwash. talking snakes, virgin births, walking on water, talking donkeys, a magic fucking boat, a
No,
big
okay.
Adam and
It's called
Eve.
faith.
That's all
It's called
nonsense.
there's a creator, and you just have to have faith and believe.
Okay,
Where do
then
you
I
think
have
you're going when you where do you think you're going when you die?
the ground.
Okay, so okay, you believe in science, right? Energy
No,
is neither created or destroyed. We're energy. So where's that energy going?
back where it came from, the environment.
Okay, so our energy is going back into the environment. Okay, you believe that. I just want you to look more into the Bible and just look into it
I
and
looked
see
into
what
it, ma'am. I looked into Exodus and Leviticus and all that garbage. It's all garbage.
It's not about religion. I don't believe in a religion. Okay, I just believe Jesus died on the cross. I don't believe in a certain religion.
The Bible
I don't
is,
label
ma'am,
myself.
the Bible is a religion. It's a doctrine. That's religion by definition. Okay. But more importantly, all you've done today is blabber. You've not given us any sign of God existing. Not even one.
Okay, sure. I just want you to look into it because I want you to be saved and I want you to.
How ironic. She wants me to look into the Bible when I know more about the Bible than she does. I guarantee you.
Hello?
Yeah, what do you got?
Oh, I just wanted to clarify something you said earlier about Adventists. So Adventists typically are not vegans or vegetarians because of moral reasons. It's mainly for health reasons, just as someone who grew up Adventist. So I think that point you made is a little bit.
No. There are Adventists who are literally vegans because the Bible they think says that you should be vegan, right? The point is that not everybody agrees, of course, but there are some people who are vegan because they think the Bible says it.
Yeah, I think there's some people like in every.
All right, one more guess, guys. Everybody, please subscribe to my YouTube, please. You will not regret it. I have lots of content. All my debates I post there too.
Hello.
Hey, what do you got?
I was going to talk about the vegan thing because you had like a bunch of different things on there, so I'm just gonna talk about that mainly. I think that being vegan you can have a choice to be vegan, but there are also other things that people can have choices on, like not being
Okay,
vegan.
how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay. Do you think it's right or wrong to harm animals?
I think it depends on the situation.
Okay. What if a random animal is just minding its own business and you go and somebody, would you think it's okay to harm that animal or kill it?
Wait, repeat that? Sorry, it was delayed.
If an animal is minding their own business, would you think it's okay to kill that animal?
Yeah.
Really? So I can go up to a dog, I can go up to a cat and just stab it?
In other countries, people eat cats, people eat dogs.
We're not talking about we're talking about you, right? Like to you, in your opinion.
Well, in my opinion, I am saying that it's fine because okay, take it like this. Say I was stranded on an island and there was no other food or resources besides plants, and I had to require the protein and nutrients that I needed.
Ma'am, we can't hear you. We lost you, ma'am. You're on the island. You're stranded on the island. You lost the connection. Do they have Wi-Fi on that island?
Sorry, did I cut out?
Okay, you're back. What do you got?
Sorry about that. But as I was saying, there are certain proteins and nutrients that are in certain types of meat and different products, but is also beneficial to the human body.
Name one. Name one that we cannot get from plants.
B12.
Tofu, tempeh, mushrooms, fortified foods, nutritional yeast all have B12.
Yes, but why would you? Okay, we're animals. We're mammals. Why would animals, like, if animals were put on this planet what would be the purpose? There's bears that kill humans.
Man, look.
There's things that eat humans.
Yes. We live in a
So
very...
why can't we eat our own things that we're part of the food chain?
Because we have choices. We have the ability to make better choices than nature. We don't live in the wild anymore, man. We're not Tarzan anymore. We have stores. I can go to the store and buy plants.
Yes, and the store provide meat for people.
Hold on. I don't have to harm animals. There is no need or requirement for me anymore to buy or eat animal products. Period. That's why I'm vegan.
I'm saying, you keep interrupting me, by the way. As I'm saying, I am fully aware that animals have life. They have a beating heart. They're able to breathe and have life like any other human being. But I'm saying that we have a choice. We can kill the animal or we don't have to. Some people prefer to...
I know, ma'am. That's why I'm asking you why. What's the better choice? Is it better to harm the animals when we don't have to, or better to eat a carrot? Which one's better for you? Which one's more ethical to you?
Well, you're bringing the ethical part into it, but I would say...
Yeah, that's what veganism means. It's ethics.
Well, I know it's not to kill animals and to cause pain to the animals, but there are plenty of other ways you could kill an animal that does not cause it pain.
Name one.
Euthanization.
Okay, great. So you think euthanizing an animal and then killing it, that's perfectly fine. Is that humane?
Yeah.
Okay. Would it be humane for me to euthanize you and kill you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a breathing being. Like, I'm a person.
So you think I can just go around euthanizing people and kill them and murder them?
No, because we have laws in place. I mean, you can't just go up to someone
but
and do that.
ethically speaking, man, morally speaking, would that be okay for me to kill people and euthanize them?
Depends on the situation. Because if you were stranded on an island and you were trying to survive...
Man, you're not on forget the fucking island. We're not on an island, okay? This isn't Jamaica. I'm asking Jamaica. A very simple question.
Wait, do you eat people? Is that what you're trying to say? Sorry.
Have a good day. I don't know how to talk to people like that. It's not possible. Hey, what do you got?
Well, I know for a fact that if we didn't kill deer, you wouldn't be eating no vegetables. They'd be starving to death, and we would too.
Ma'am, how many deers are there in the world?
Do you know they multiply so damn fast that they literally would eat us out of our own country?
Ma'am, how many deer are there in the world?
I have no idea how many deer there are in the world.
We can tell. It's only about 40 million, okay? How many people are there in the world?
How many deer do you think there would be if we didn't have hunting?
Ma'am, can you answer the question? How many people are there in the world?
I have no idea. Don't care. If we did not eat the deer, we would not be eating.
The answer is 8 billion. There are only 40 million deer in existence. How the fuck do you think they are going to support our existence when there's 8 billion of us? That's utterly atrociously ridiculous. No, deer don't affect my life. However, I am affecting the deer life. I am affecting the animals the ones that you slaughter and kill in factories. You are affecting their lives. And for no good fucking reason. What justifies slaughtering animals, ma'am? What justifies it? Go. Oh no, she doesn't know how to unmute herself. I forgot, she's a boomer. Oh man. All right, guys. I'm getting really tired.